Brother gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up.
Say it.
Good morning.
No, you're supposed to say magandang umaga po, masanting abak, maayong buntag.
I'm just going to jump straight to the point.
No, you're not.
Have you ever seen a man on a cruise ship with one paddle and no gas?
That's a little rough.
You think every man has one paddle.
That's not even possible.
For him, it might be.
Wow.
Okay,
It's like what, 20 it's like 30 metric tons or something, 35 metric tons versus 5 pounds of pressure.
Something like that. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day about cruise ships and everything else. Let me get myself together here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another abrupt, crazy taxi live stream.
Crazy taxi. Welcome to Philippine Antics.
Guys, be sure if you're not subscribed to subscribe. We are the only live stream in the Philippines where it is an American expat wife, probably even just expat wife.
Just remember when you arrive to the Philippines, it is.
Do you mind? And a crazy Filipino that actually lives here. So we are the only one. We are the number one that actually does this type of stuff.
We don't rooster block.
So I'm gonna block some people, but and we're gonna pick and choose who we are. And by the way, people keep using that abrupt word that we're blocking people. Nobody gets blocked. We keep you from coming in and poaching other
There's
subscribers and
YouTube
viewers.
etiquette.
We have actually, it just keeps people, it's not really blocked. It just, you can still watch, you can still do whatever. You're more than welcome. You're just not welcome. Some people are just not welcome to come up in our room and just spread total hate or poach other.
You're free. It's freedom of speech. However, you're not really allowed to attack other people.
Well, especially when you do it on your own channel.
Like
okay,
they do
it's
it
evident.
in our live.
Actually, hey, Joseph.
You guys have seen it. They attack the people in the room. It's like.
And there are several that do it, and you guys are going to say that we do it too. But I just want to make it clear to several vloggers. If we don't like you, okay. If you don't like us, that's fine. There's always going to be that thing back and forth. I think every channel has several other vloggers that don't like and then keep using them for content or whatever. But when you blatantly put us in a comparison for everything, or you use our numbers or you do other things, we just don't want you in the room. So just get over it.
And be aware that, again, our guests and our people in our chat are not necessarily us. We don't necessarily share their viewpoints. And
the same with you guys.
Right.
We welcome everybody to come in here and make their comments. Now, if they come up talking political, or I don't care if you guys make your statements about Mark and every man has a story, or you guys have bad to say about whoever you guys come up, we're okay with that now. Now, I used to, if somebody said something about anybody, I used to block it. I'm like, no, people have the right to say things, which will bring us around to today's update.
there you go.
So we had a person that dropped us a little tidbit.
Thank you so much for
Like
your
literally
help.
a little bit ago.
Thank you for your content.
We had Andy Omar up in the room yesterday. And by the way, I think I'm going to throw a...
Well, it wasn't Andy Omar, just to clarify. It wasn't him that gave us this information.
Right. So, and it also gave us a chance to clear up with Andy Omar some things he had said on some other podcasts or live stream about us, and the things he's might have said. But there was a big misunderstanding, because another vlogger put out that I was bullying his wife and all that. And it was all a misunderstanding, all cleared up. I apologized on that. And it wasn't what it actually was. Okay. And
That's hilarious.
I'm going to ban you.
No, sorry. That's hilarious.
I know. Well,
That's hilarious.
right, hold it together, George. Hold it together. And so it was all cleared up with Andy. Okay. If we like, a lot of people, like I said, aren't going to like all the same people. So we've had a lot of emails come in since yesterday, literally hundreds, comments, all of this. And there's been more and more stuff coming in. Now there's a lot of misinformation. We're being said we're giving misinformation. Ain't no misinformation going on here. We're just stating the obvious facts. Mark Thornton, and I'm going to be clear about that. Every Man Has a Story has still got his video up. He has actually punched a guy, and we had a photo yesterday that we got from Andy Omar where he had attacked a guy out of frustration, and everybody's aware of that. You know, some are for the violence and some aren't. I don't care either way, because, yeah, I guess if somebody ran their mouth long enough, they might get punched in the nose too. I get it. But it wouldn't be in this country where it's really could cause him a lot of problems. Okay, that's.
Well,
Can you slurp a little louder, dude? You know. Or what you do behind closed doors is nobody's business, but I'm not going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to punch you in the nose. This live stream.
okay, well, actually, I was going to say something about
He
that.
put that out there, you know?
Here's the thing. Now, he could say stuff like, this is all for YouTube. It was a show. It didn't really happen. The problem is there is video of it. So therefore, he just basically cemented his statement.
And I want to give a big shout out also, because another thing got cleared up. I'm happy because a lot of things for me is clearing up. Okay. Also, I heard from Critter Hunter. I had to think about it because that's what Justin, where
Hey, Justin.
also there was a big misunderstanding. Okay. And all I was saying is that I know that I had knew at that point that he has been known to say things or start things. That's all I knew on that happened. I didn't have all the facts, or at least he didn't have the facts. By the way, it was over the same incident. It was over the same incident that Andy Omar. So the thing that went around is that, you know, me being 3 times the size of somebody's wife was going to go beat her up, and it was supposedly put her into fear. And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. I said it was like all a misunderstanding. And at the end of the day, I was very upset myself because she was like legitly upset over it. And then I had been upset over it, and I didn't want that. So I apologize still to this Filipina to this day and that channel. A lot of you were here last year when this went down, and he was also upset over that. And I'm like, okay, guys, just ask me. If a channel has an issue with me, either call me or email me, or you can call me directly through Messenger. Okay,
A few of them, yeah.
And so, yeah. I mean, it was just all a misunderstanding. There ain't no misunderstanding over this situation. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And he did say that he didn't mean anything by it and all that, and things got cleared up. I want to say that I just seen a video that I believe came out yesterday after the fact where Jewel, a gentleman that hangs out with Critter Hunter, and he was over there at the dive shop was going on, and he was making some side statements about every man has a story. And he actually said all that. And then he started to slide into there's more coming. That's what I took from it. I believe it's called Jewel in the Philippines. Just look up Critter Hunter Republic. And I did tell Critter Hunter that is something I'd like to do is one day come over there to that area and check out the dive shop. So guys, if you don't know anything about Critter Hunter Republic, okay, he's a dive shop in that area with all new equipment. He's come a far way. He does a bunch of videography under the water. Critter Hunter Republic, check that out.
Oh well, he also publishes books too as well.
Right, he's been traveling the world forever. He's on a weight loss journey like me. I would like to meet up with him and talk, health food. His diet, I believe, is a little different than mine, but it's probably pretty similar. So he is on a mission too to lose weight. So we did start a second channel for that. Okay, so give that a check out. So that is Island Reboot Philippines. Okay, it's about, me losing weight. It's our second channel, expat female life and all that. So check it out, guys. All right, so let's get around to the nitty gritty. We did not plan to do a live stream, but here we are. And let me get the link in here too.
It's an unplanned live stream, correct?
Right, so George is going to go through and say his highs. I'm going to get a link and put it in here. Because once again, we want to hear from you guys. You guys are the important ones. I mean, I'll tell you at the end of the day, it's about us all day long.
It actually says their comment, add in your 2 cents. This is your life.
Correct. And that's what is actually important. We've always done that. But during the pandemic, there were only a couple live streams going on. I know Old Dog used to drop them on the occasion. Mr. Mark Thornton used to drop them. Then all of a sudden, everybody's going
once a week, 1 hour live. That was the default.
Right, for most. Geo in the Philippines, and then we were doing like constant live streams. Sometimes they were every day, like they're getting to be now. I'm going to put a link to this
to our
bring
live
some
right now.
people in. I do want to say on the side, I didn't get to complete the message to our last guest. Yeah, check your audio if you guys are coming on, because we couldn't hear our last guest. Like 2 or 3 of them that came on, their audio was so low that it was like we didn't even know he was talking. So it's kind of hard for us to see you guys, what we call in the green room or down there. Even if you're up on screen, we're kind of looking at a different angle, and we couldn't hear the people.
Right, and we can't jack up our volume, because if we did, there would be something called feedback.
Right. So I was trying.
I mean, some of you viewers actually said we can't hear your guests, and unfortunately, there was another guest all too at the same time, so we can't really address them directly about the audio. California Bear, good morning. How are you doing, California Bear? 619.
And also, we're interested in hearing from a few people today. Not that I think Critter Hunter or Justin will join us, but to me, it seems he's a little boisterous on the situation. Now, maybe he won't come through and say what happened, but I would really like to hear from Justin, because he was there and a lot of things were said about him. Okay, it was said that he went outside, and other people said that he was scared, that he didn't do anything. Others said he was involved in it. This we have zero information on, but I know he was there that day.
Well, also, this is actually part of the subject. Somebody said something that, they're probably not going to do anything because they don't want their business involved. Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, somebody did say that he won't.
Right.
Yeah, that they're not, that Mark will not go to jail, be deported or nothing, because what I keep hearing over and over again is that expat on expat means squat in this country. Okay, and real men settle it on the side. I'm probably taking quotes out of a bunch of messages we've been reading.
Not our opinion.
Right. So the things we're saying are everybody's opinion, unless you hear me say, I definitely feel, and I feel Mark is in big trouble.
Yes.
And he can lose more than one thing. I know our YouTube manager said, because of him talking about violence that he put on another person is enough to shut down his channel. If it's manually reviewed and if people report it, if enough people report him to the embassy, then he also will get in trouble. It's not me promoting or not promoting. I'm
We're not
I-
inciting anything. We're just
No, I'm-
we're just a voice for you guys.
I am like TMZ of the Philippines. We want to hear from you guys. We're like reporting on the semi-celebrity news here.
And also, like I said, somebody said that they're not going to do anything because they have a business involved. Yada yada yada.
Right.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah, that they're just going to keep it silent.
There's probably going to be a business owner in this room right now. Okay, because there's a lot of you guys. And what I'm saying
Come
is,
on, Critter Hunter.
it's actually well, that part he may not do. But what I'm saying is, as a business owner, if anybody does, well, no, it's not that. It's if somebody's defamating my business,
which
normally by default, a real business owner would go for blood. I'm not saying they were not literal. I'm talking about metaphorically. So what I'm saying is, yeah, they want somebody in trouble for somebody talking about my business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I've always heard he had a great dive shop. A lot of people go there. Now I'm going to do that once again. That I have not been to Critter Hunter's dive shop. I've only seen it online. I've heard of
and
people.
We're not divers.
Not yet. We're not. All right, so I'm pinning the StreamYard actual live stream. I would like to hear from people that have experienced what we're getting ready to talk about. Yeah. We've got a new piece of information this morning, and we have spoke to somebody as of 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago at Ground Zero. So we have made a physical call to Ground Zero today to confirm what we're actually going to put out. So,
right, correct.
So George is going to go and say hi to some of our regulars. Like finding our regulars.
Tim Husk. After into you, Heidi and George. Racetrack says hello.
Hey, put
Heidi
Tim
from
Husk
South
in
Carolina.
timeout.
Hi, peeps. Tim Husk. Actually, Tim Husk actually said something here.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, Tim has said something here. That's somewhat.
I just want to let you guys know that also we have membership available. I got to throw that out there. We're still a YouTube channel at the end of the day.
Good. Glad to hear it. All's good here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, speaking of ships, for some of you military buffs out there or ship buffs out there, submarines are classified as ships. Oh, the biggest ship that the U.S. has is actually the Ohio class submarine. Just so you guys know. Just saying, for those of you military buffs out there.
I need the laptop back just there.
Manny C, hello guys. Hey Manny, how you doing?
Hey,
thank
Manny.
you again. And guys, thank Manny for again giving away memberships yesterday. Thank you so much.
We got different levels of membership. It just. Oh, and also we just seen Gusty this morning. Today's Gusty's
birthday. He came over. I was asleep, and he was like, "Did he yell, or you just stood there?"
Yeah. No, he was yelling at you, and I'm like, George, wake up! And so we were up pretty late last night, reading comments and going through things.
He remembered it's the house with a silver car, and the E-truck that's covered up, and that's how he found us.
So we'll have some footage coming out this coming Friday. George will edit that for a few days, but it's his birthday and it's my mother's birthday. And I was telling George, I said, that is wild. Today's Gusty's birthday. Because my mother passed away in 1999. She didn't get to see the millennial turnover and everything. Right. And so I was very touched. He came over and we went ahead and gave him a bunch of food and everything. So he's doing good.
Yeah. Tim Huss says, that's funny, Dirty. Now, Dirty said, I heard two Filipino kids fighting and one said, it's my turn to be Mark. Oh my gosh. Classic. That's hilarious, Dirty. That is hilarious.
Oh man, I almost hear. I have to whisper because I'm not allowed to talk about Filipinos. Here, I have to whisper what I'm going to say about a Filipino.
Oh my gosh, that's not right.
I can't say that out loud.
Thad says probably not.
Well, it's not a bad thing.
Every YouTube channel has a story. There you go, Thad.
There's a lot of things that could actually happen. We said it yesterday about the channel. We showed that photo of the guy, and there was actually a comment that said it didn't look like much of an injury to me. And I'm like, okay, the guy looked pretty pummeled to me, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he didn't look
correct. Injuries doesn't matter. The fact is that you have stricken somebody else, and also be aware you don't know what conditions that person has.
I want to give you guys a quick scenario, and this is the way I feel about it. A lot of you like, there's no way Heidi's that passive. You're right. You're absolutely right, because if somebody taunted me and said things about George and this and that, there, if this was like the wild wild west, and George knows this, the only thing that holds me back right now is the law. George knows that. I talk about that all the time. A lot more things would have happened at this point in my life if the law wasn't involved. Okay. If I didn't fear from being banned from this country and being ripped from my husband. But even George deserves love. Okay. Well, you won't get no Snow White Nookie if
Anyway,
if I punch somebody in the nose. True story. So what I'm saying is I agree with some of the comments to an extent. You should be able to handle it man to man, woman to man, whatever, or somebody, no matter what. I kind of feel that way too. But there's something called a law, and there's something called what he's getting ready to experience is just total embarrassment, man. That's the other side of it. Think about it. What just happened at Ground Zero? I mean, come on. That's where he did all of his interviews. There could be people that are afraid of him. That's something else we heard. There's all kinds of stuff that we're hearing that's happening over at Ground Zero. Okay, we even heard there's calls coming in asking if he's even there. That's even crazier. And that comes from a direct source that people have called about him. Okay, that's not made up stuff. That's real stuff. And I'm gonna speak a fact on that. There have been calls saying, is that guy is he coming around anymore? Because I don't feel like coming over there. So this is news in the last 24 hours. Okay. But if you could handle it man to man, then maybe if it wasn't going to get you deported, sometimes I wish this was the wild, wild west, because a lot of people talking smack and keyboard warrior, there wouldn't be a keyboard. Those same damn people that say things about whatever would not be saying them. I'm going to tell you, the other channels and all that, I wish they would put the content up about us and say it in my face. I'll give you my address. Okay, but they ain't going to do that. And we're not going through that and all of that. If that's really him, that'll be interesting. William Abrams, the one that had the house and his wife tried to sell the house on him. If we can see if that is you or not.
Okay. Well,
we have two people in here, but let me finish on this situation. So I wish it was, but that's not the way it's going to go. All right. So we do have two people in the room, but I feel, should we release what we actually have first?
No, let's see what they have to say.
Okay, so we're going, who was in, I think William Abrams.
Well, actually, you know what? We should probably release it now. Okay, guys.
Yeah, we'll get to you guys, the messenger to the people, the people that's actually in here. Now, I want you guys to understand that all guests that come in here, we do not vet them in advance. They're going to come in and talk about different things. We do want to hear from you guys, but just keep it on the, if it's dealing with other channels, we've heard all kinds of things that's going on. We're trying to keep to the actual subject and any new information that you guys have also. So,
okay, well, yeah, we're going to show you something, and it is confirmed. We have personally called Ground Zero to confirm if this is true. And
we had a few people ask. Mark Thornton has been banned, and he has been served paperwork that he's not allowed to come into Ground Zero anymore.
Ta-da!
So I'm going to read to you exactly what it says. You guys can real quick.
Well, the ones with the phones probably won't be able to read it, so he's going to read it for you.
Mark Thornton, it gives his actual, and I'm just going to put it up there. Oh, 1 second. So it does not give his physical address. It just says the area he's in. So it says what area that he's actually in. And it says permanent it says prohibition?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It says to enter and be served at Ground Zero. Dear Mr. Thornton, good day. We hope this letter finds you well. We are sending you this letter to inform you that the pursuant to the recent events wherein exhibited acts of aggression and vexation towards our staff and customers within our business and premises, you have been banned indefinitely, a period, and it will remain in effect from entering Ground Zero. blah, 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 the management ground 0. So this was actually confirmed.
Yes.
And for those that are doxing and pro Mark, against Mark, and all of that, that's not his physical address. So, in other words, we don't want to hear down the road that we gave his personal information out, because it doesn't say exactly like a house number and all of that. It just says the area that he's in. But he has been sent the papers for that. So I know a lot of you are going to get your panties in a knot like you always do. Bite me on that. So we're going to add in, go ahead and add them both
Well,
in.
actually, William, here's William Abrams. Okay.
Yes, we're familiar
Yes.
with William.
William, you're on.
Go ahead and add both in.
Actually, William, here's William Abrams.
Yes.
I'm trying to get the audio. Oh, hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I've been in the Philippines for like 10 years.
10 years.
I'm having trouble with the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably have to turn down like your audio midway if you're watching at the same time. It's probably
Yeah.
a
And also,
feedback.
we also have Philip Cartmel.
Yes, we're going to bring in Philip too.
There, is that
now-
better?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
better.
thank you.
William, just to confirm, you are the gentleman that we had talked about previously, where you had an issue with your wife. She was trying to sell the house and everything.
Yes, that's me. I mean, I didn't
Okay,
know.
he was in
I didn't know your
Thailand.
channel.
Well, we appreciate you. I think you're on our Facebook is where we've just been watching your life and everything. And I was like, dang, she tried to sell his house.
She didn't, and she won't.
There you go. So I'm glad to hear that. What do you think of this incident, and what you got to say to the people?
Hey, here's one thing I'll say for sure: is every single one of the YouTubers and everything like that, including myself, probably sometimes more than others, we all have our character flaws. Every
Most
single one of us have, as you know, and then when you start getting a little more successful in it, well, you start getting hit from all sides. And somebody who is not as mature, as some, start acting like, teenage kids in a playground. And, oh no, I'll punch you in the nose. I'm like, hey, I can walk away, but I can hold my own. I have brothers that are 3 times Mark Thornton, but I always say, you're going to take me down, I'm going to take a big piece with me.
Right, that is true.
But the thing is, I can walk away, and the only way I'd ever do that is if I can't. You don't follow somebody out the door and then punch them. Like, come on, that's adolescent. That's adolescent garbage. I mean, it's like,
Right. And what we actually are to understand from the photos from Andy Omar, he was leaning in and holding the door and taunting. So they're saying even the story he is told now looks like that he was calling him to come on out. And supposedly Dexter didn't even know what was going on, because he was trying to justify that when he asked him to come out, you knew there was going to be a fight, but I guess Dexter did not. And the photo that we had on yesterday was looked like that's just absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to tell you is just my experience with Mark. Mark has always treated me pretty nice. Okay. And I remember being at a party at a friend's house, and he was there. And I'm going to tell you that I was sitting there, was talking, I was just about ready to go, and Mark suddenly came out with some kind of very strange but kind of rude comment about me. And I was like, so me, like I say, I'm pretty self-confident. I just I was very friendly, but I walked straight up to him, right up close to him. I said, I'm sorry, what was that? What was that about? And then he go, oh, no, it was nothing about that. Oh, really? I said, well, if you ever want to know anything about me, just ask me, because, I don't understand where that came from. And I said, all right, bye. And I walked away, It's like,
right.
I was like, I don't know where that came from, but I mark it off to those character flaws that we all have. So, take it or leave it. I walked away from it. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Right. So you didn't, I was just talking about that, and I'm serious. If this was the Wild Wild West, people would watch their mouth a lot more. And I get it. And I get that the guy might have pissed him off. He's saying Critter Hunter said a bunch of things. I'm like, okay, it's a bunch of words. We all get them as small vloggers, big vloggers.
What do they call it? Cheese miss?
Chismiss, yeah.
Chismiss, yeah.
And
Just
so even if
gossipy bull crap. That's all.
Right. But even if he did, what comes down to it is that he made a video public to everybody. Because, like, we're getting a bunch of feedback that we should mind our business. I'm like, sorry, I'm going to continue to be Heidi CNN. That there's no doubt in my mind. And I'm like, he put that stuff out there, and he put his business out there. Then we're going to cover it so people know what's going on. And a lot of people want to know what's going on. And it comes down to, you can lose a lot. A bunch of people are being super passive. He's going to pay him off. He's going to walk away. The guy's not going to do anything. They're going to settle it man to man and blah, blah, blah. But see, here's the thing, like I said about the YouTube manager and his channel. He could, if somebody manually could remove his channel, he could lose getting an exit clearance or getting back in if he ever actually left. He could be banned. He's got a baby on the way. I don't know why any of that didn't like sink through his head.
And to get blacklisted, you do not have to be convicted of a crime. You just have to be demonstrated as a bad person to the Philippines.
And that letter is a start. It said he was rude to the staff. So what's up with that? Where's the response on him being rude to the staff?
I had trouble with a loser YouTuber once, and I actually went to report him to like NBI. But basically, I got a nice letter from a lady I know in NBI, and she said, I'm going to just be honest with you. You know, NBI is not interested in squabbles between foreigners.
Yes, that's true.
In other words, she was being nice to me. She was being a friend of mine. I know her. And she just said, so no matter what you do, even if they file a case, it'll go on for years and it'll just get dropped, or you'll both get banned, one or the other, you know?
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is just basic squabble. Or there was physical injury, and he actually went and filed something and went to the hospital. I'm sorry. That's enough.
And he did it himself. It was his choice. He made the choice to go outside. He made the choice to punch him. I said, so you need to like take responsibility for what you do.
Yeah, he's not even apologizing or nothing. Like I said, I mentioned that incident with me. And this kind of touches base with me because the other person really thought I was going to come after her. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen situation. But, you know, I apologize. You have to apologize and just get this all out of the way when you have family and a spouse. And you just can't. I mean, he has and still has so much on the line that it's just it's unreal.
I mean, we all make mistakes in life. I mean, like I remember one time I did something once, right? That I trusted somebody. Okay.
Right.
And I was so wrong for doing it, but I trusted one person. Confession time. Forgive me for I have sinned. Anyway, but I mean, I do make mistakes, but the thing is, when you have a YouTube channel, boy, that mistake gets blown up like beyond belief.
It does.
And the thing is, I had to set it right with my wife. I said, "Listen, have a seat, honey." I said, "Do you remember me talking to Aaron?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah. Well, I kind of showed him a picture of you, and well, he kind of spread it all over the place."
Yeah, we kind of seen that, man.
I'm sorry, but it happened. But I apologized to my wife. We took it out. We worked it out. We did what we had to do. And I had to take my medicine. That's called being a man. I mean, I made the wrong choice. I acknowledged it, and I moved on.
And that's what, you know, that was kind of like I had some falling out with my daughter and my son at one point after I moved to the Philippines. And a lot of it was because I moved. Okay. And I had to, that's all my kids wanted to hear is, you know, me like talk to them, apologize, admit, you know, what I had done, which really there was nothing, but they just wanted me to acknowledge and say, hey, and sometimes that's all people want to hear. But in this case, it could be, you know, a little too much too late. So it's
well, you don't put your hands on somebody, period. You know, you just, you know, little old guy didn't swing on him.
Yeah,
actually, we have a good question here, and actually Philip could probably shed more light on this one. Sojourner says, why did the two senior citizens have a boxing match? They couldn't agree on who had the right of way with their walkers. Um, Philip, what do you have to say about
Hey,
that?
Philip.
What was the
I'll talk to you guys
reason
later. Bye bye.
for the fight?
Thank
Bye,
you.
William.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. You can take that.
Good morning, Philippines.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hey, what
hey,
is going on? Oh,
how many?
by the
Sorry.
way, I just wanted to say that I was really happy to hear from Critter Hunter. So I did hear from Justin. So there was a small falling out with us a while back, and we loved him before, but after he kind of sided with another vlogger, that I had made a statement, and I do publicly apologize to him now. That I had said, because I did come forward and say that he was known to say things about people. And you were on there when I said that the last time, but I was so happy to hear from him and everything. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So, but we appreciate you being here because that side. Do you know Jewel too?
I know his son, and I've met Jules, yes, but
Yeah. So he's really nice.
let's start off with how many psychologists it takes to change a light bulb. Only one, but the light bulb really has to want to change.
No. Very good. Yeah.
So
that is true.
somebody just told me that I should call in because apparently you're the guys I talked to about buying into this great cruise ship that's supposed to be launched here in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Anyway, the point of my call is to avert you to posting the note to Mark because he has not been served with that yet, I was told. Because I posted on my own when it was sent to me, and I was told to take it down because, to be fair to Mark and the legal system, they have posted the notice. There's a public notice that the Ground Zero has posted on the door. And not only Mark, but they've had enough of bloggers generally. Nobody will be permitted to make a blog or video on the premises without the express permission of the staff of Ground Zero. And I also got to commend Ground Zero for no knee-jerk reaction to all this. They actually took the time. The staff were like, well, what do we do, And so they checked with the owners, and they went through the process of reviewing everything that was said and done. So this correspondence you're seeing, this notice, has not been done spuriously. It's done with a great deal of thought, and so I wanted to lay that out to you. And also, I wanted to put a shout out to Andy Omar, because Andy and I have locked horns in the past about judging people prior to, but a lot of the information that he provided to you was correct. But then he went and turned around and shot himself in the foot with that short he just put on, putting the comments to Mark's wife. Andy, please take that down. That involves a Filipina.
Yeah.
Well, he basically asked her to step outside. He said, "You're not gonna have a husband soon. He's gonna be in America, and that'll leave you being a single mom. So I have a question for you. Do you want to step outside?"
Yeah, that would be weird that he would say it because he's married and everything and has his own family. So that.
Well, I don't know what that's about. So yeah, but yeah, Andy, you did score a lot of points with me on that one. And he's right about Tim Kay. He has to come to accounts on the funds during the whole Odette crisis. But it's not just Tim; it's everybody out there. I sought funds when Yolanda went through personally for my in-laws who rebuilt their home. Oh, my wife's calling me. Just a second here.
Yes.
Calling me for breakfast. But I wanted to let you know that the notice has been served to Mark. And also the process under which I got involved in it also involved, because Mark cut me off from emailing him. I felt compelled to do it online, to send a message to him that this is not going to end well, and tried to warn him, and he just didn't listen. So, and I'm going to put another video out about none of us should be standing on our high horses judging Mark either, because we don't know what his mental condition really is, and how he got into the Philippines, and yeah, we can only pray that he finds a resolution that's the benefit of everybody. but
Well,
he
yeah,
really has to
that would
think long
be
and hard.
really great if it's simply, yeah, for his wife's sake and for his sake to be with his child. I mean, it's not like, that wouldn't be our wish that all that would happen to him. So that's for sure. I agree on that.
I don't
So,
think I don't think he has the funds to do any kind of settlement because
no.
I've heard about this vehicle he bought at 35% interest rate, which is crazy. So he has no funds to deal with it anyway. But yeah, I think we've just got to be all just calm down. But I understand now this game. I mean, I did little social experiments to see what kind of reaction I got. And yeah, I'm not in it for monetization or anything like that. That makes me a lonely guy
Yeah,
because the guys who
and
seek the truth usually are.
yeah, and I want to make a statement, Bings, you're bringing that up. We've been covering different topics that pertain to the rest of the people coming here, to the people that are living here. And we've covered everything, and we still do. We cover our life, we cover expat help, and we cover when something like this happens. And we have heard from a lot of people. And unfortunately, I'm not, unless it becomes a serious legal matter, cut out on it, because I kind of stand by that. I feel the fight was unnecessary. He should not, no matter how much he was taunted, by law, he shouldn't have touched somebody, and where it could lead him to other issues and other problems. So if it's dealing with a popular expat or otherwise something that goes down here in the Philippines that we're allowed to cover, then we actually cover it because we do a lot of commentary. And now we want to start getting people involved, where they can come in and talk about things. The thing is yes, all kinds of vloggers have come out of the woods. I've seen channels with 300 subscribers, 900, 1,000, and they're all putting super personal feelings into this. Like, I can't stand Mark. Oh no, I can't stand Critter Hunter. We've heard everything from every different channel, and a lot of them are just putting that out there. We have been accused for just trying to grasp numbers, and it's okay for other channels to grasp at numbers, and we're not trying to fall into that same realm. This is a major lesson for people to learn, and we do want to hear from people on this matter because I'm sorry, he's got a lot on the line, and it's his wife that I feel, really, really bad about. And his video continues to stay up. He should have left it down. There's no lawyer in the world, and he continues to be what I feel personally is a little bit of arrogance, where he's continuing to leave it up there. It's not helping his case. We've dealt with Filipino attorneys here already over social media. So we kind of know where the guidelines are, and him leaving it out there is really bad. So people keep projecting things onto our channel that we're just the worst in the world for doing this, but nobody says nothing to CNN when they cover China and this and that. They don't get onto them for this and that. And we're not saying we're CNN. We're just saying we're social media, and that's usually where things come through. And his bad behavior is not going to get rewarded well either. So he wants to put it out there the same as the other people we've covered. I'm going to cover it. So it's like anything we've covered so far, they've hung their own laundry
I just
out
caution
there.
you. I just caution you and every blogger out there. Just put out a video called "Calling Fire," yelling fire in a crowded theater. And it's the old case from 1919, Strachan versus the U.S. Supreme Court, where if you're trying to incite panic or violence or any of that type of thing, you've got a responsibility as media, whether you're mainstream media or a blogger, and it's going to come back to haunt all of us if the courts determine that there's been some prejudicial, predatory attacks on any sector of society. So, yeah, we've got to watch it. We're guests and behave as such. So.
Well, thank you so
I just
much.
want to let you know about that. I got to go have my breakfast. It's late, but
All
I
right,
just
we
wanted to say
appreciate
hi.
you dropping in.
Thank you, Philip.
Thought I'd
There
drop
you
by
go.
and
Have
have
a
a great
good day.
one. So I would take that notice down because to be fair to all involved in the legal process to work as it's supposed to, Mark hasn't been served, and there's a reason why his address isn't on it, is to protect him. I mean, the nutcases that can swing by.
Yes.
Just ask Taylor Swift. She had to sell her airplane.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thanks, Philip. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Take care.
Now, be aware also that, again, this address isn't there. However, the It's not us. What I'm saying is there's a lot of expats that actually
I
know where
agree.
he's at.
Well, I agree and
But he did not come from
disagree
us.
whether he was served or not. Again,
Well, it's a public notice.
it's a public notice,
It
and
is
it's
a
up
public
on a
notice.
door.
It is up-
Anybody can take a
It is up
screenshot
at
of
the
it,
ground zero.
and
yes.
they've already done that. And I get it. We know where our legal stance is, and we'll stand by what we actually have. And I
And
get
it's
it.
not a what is that? It's not like he's being summoned to court. There's a difference between a legal document versus
It is somewhat legal. I get it.
No,
but
no,
they've
no.
already put
Like,
it to the
yeah.
public for people to see, and the shop did confirm it. And we was sent this by somebody private. I believe it came in last night.
Yeah, we're not going to
So-
mention that, of course.
Right.
But no,
so
no, again,
we get it. So I'm not
it's
going
not a
to
subpoena.
go.
His address isn't there.
I'm not even going to defend that. So,
Well, what I'm saying is, again, there's a lot of expats that know where he's at, but it did not come from us.
just to confirm.
Just
So,
to confirm, yeah.
as we wait for anybody else to come up in the room and discuss this with us in regards to this,
Manny
Mark
says-
is no Taylor Swift. Right? No, I get it. What I find, and some guys are going to take very high offense to what I'm getting ready to say. What's good for the goose
It's good for the gander.
is good for the gander. And it's okay when we just stay silent and just cover small things. But the moment that we cover what others are covering, whether it's a walking street thing, whether it's drama going on here, any angle we go at, we've been attacked every way. And I came up with this, it doesn't matter, what we put out, you're going to get love and you're going to get hate. And we don't stay on this every day. This is just something new that has come out. And so we want to cover it and we want to hear from you. And I think from now on, we're going to do a lot more live streams where we're going to let people in. Good morning, Focus in Asia is in the
AJR,
house.
good morning, Focus in Asia.
What is going on?
Yeah, Will Smith said something like there's this show called 60 Days In. Will Smith says, looking forward to his channel from inside the monkey house. Every man has a shank.
Hey,
It's like
babe.
60 Days In.
Here, further down, somebody just came up with something. One snowflake. What is that? One snow. Here, go further down. You can come back up to it. Further down at 217. Further down, babe. There it is. One. Watch.
One.
You're watching PAN, Philippine Antics News Network.
There you go.
Say it, babe.
Huh.
Do your voice.
In a world where expats misbehave, welcome to PAN, Philippine Antics
News Network. Right? It's true. And I'm sorry. Like I said, I can't put George in a bikini, nor would we use the thirst trap method. That's why that's why I said something the other day. You ain't making this a thirst trap. Even if I was Heather Locklear in a bikini, I'm still going to speak my mind. So you guys ain't gonna, hear it either way, that situation. But we don't use other things. We don't use Walking Street and all the bars and bar fine things. And we don't sit there and talk about hanging out with them. And we don't do it. We used to do some interviews and we don't mind still doing them. And we still meet up with people. Most of our people ask not to interview them and we respect that. Yes. We don't walk around like Mark Thornton does and keep asking people over and over again. He claims they all come to him. That's not what I've heard. I haven't heard that everybody approaches him for those interviews. It's kind of the opposite. And when they decline them, I don't blame them. We get a lot that don't want to be interviewed. So we don't use that. We don't use our connections to the embassies the way he's going on or the others do. We don't sell pills. We don't do all of these things the others have done to bring people in. We can't use, and sorry if this offends anybody, we're not going to keep like going through the passport brother situation and all of these things that were used forever to bring in numbers. We're just going to keep doing us. We're going to keep it real like we have. And we're going to give two different perspectives, even if we have to sit here and like argue it out with each other, just, like what's going on, guys. So we want to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Tony Manning says, I'm enjoying eating my popcorn. Balut John's in the house. Balut John says,
wow, we haven't seen him in a while.
Mark owns the Titanic.
I would like some of that stock.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Willie John. That's funny. Um,
Phil Rose said Mark and Old Dog deserve each other. As I'm to understand, hey, if you're in the house, Paul, we know there's a lot of you guys that are peepers and stuff. I don't think he has anything to do with him anymore. A lot of people cut ties
he cut ties a
allegedly.
long time ago.
hmm
It's been a while.
And if I'm miss saying something about another vlogger, then come on. So
Right, you're welcome to come over here and talk about
then
it.
I will apologize and say so. And we have done that in the past because there was one or two times where we had to do that because it was something that I was not informed on. That is more than fine. George has done one, but I think we pulled down that bikini one,
Yeah.
Manny C.
Manny C says UFC keyboard warrior here. We demand George in bikini. Yes, we've done that a lot actually.
He's been in a mankini. We had
Yeah,
to blank out a
like
bunch of
Borat,
stuff.
like Borat. A lot of bush. It's a lot of bush. That's what he says.
Patty Salmon says, if Mark is banned, then what happens next? Well, he's banned from Ground Zero. I mean, I'm sure there are other coffee shops over there. I'm sure of that.
Well,
but
here's an example of somebody doing something wrong and it affects everybody. As of this point, you guys heard it, that you're not allowed to vlog in Ground Zero anymore.
So he just affected a lot of Filipinos.
And
his actions
expats.
have officially, yeah.
Because as a vlogger, he represented vloggers.
Mm-hmm.
And his misbehavior, as it were, as a vlogger / American, now there's a prejudice in Ground Zero against all vloggers. Now, I'm not saying he's the sole reason. It's one of those kind of deals where
and he's supposed to be a representative of the embassy,
right, an ambassador, right? And what I'm saying is he completely responsible for the banning of vloggers in Ground Zero? No, he's partially responsible, but they gave him the ammo to do so, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I want to stop right there and just say mid-sentence for those that are actually joining. Okay, this is a commentary. This is a conversation. This is
a discussion.
Okay, this isn't us. How can I actually say it? It's a discussion.
It does not necessarily. The people in the chat does not necessarily reflect our views.
Correct, and us discussing it. It also doesn't mean he's 100% guilty or not guilty. You have it coming from a born Filipino, which he can say whatever he actually wants. This is his country. I'm here with my husband, okay, and I'm following what I'm supposed to be doing, okay, until I'm actually served. Then this is where we stand on this. But I just want to state that this is everybody's views. They are all welcome. No different than I'm going to mention CNN or ABSN or any of the others, okay? The only thing in the Philippines you're not allowed to do, which is the biggest part, is slander direct. In other words, by saying direct things about a Filipino that affect what's going on, okay? Mark Thornton has released a video stating everything that we are, okay? We're not attacking his wife personally. We're not attacking. He's still leaving this video out. We're just conversating. So I just want to make that clear for all the trolls out there. They're like, oh, you guys are going down. So whatever. But let's get back to this letter. I wonder why the letter actually states acts of aggression and vexation towards our staff and customers, with an S on both of them.
Well, now I wasn't there, but in all probabilities, somebody probably in there said, hey, keep it down. This is a public area. This is a coffee shop. Keep it down. And I'm pretty sure the fight escalated, and that's why they said, let's take this outside.
Correct.
What I'm saying is it did not just start with a conversation between both parties. Let's take this outside. That's not how it usually works. Usually there's a loud argument, and then usually by default there's somebody in the staff, like a waiter or something, says, hey, keep it down. We have people here.
But
we have
that
kids
must
here.
mean that they felt something.
Well, somebody said something to the staff, maybe cussed them out, yelled at them, and therefore the letter too.
Right, but that's directed to
And-
him directly.
Right. Well, right. I know that. But what I'm saying is,
And here's the crazy thing. I appreciate our,
source.
yeah, I appreciate him
source.
coming in,
We're
but
not mentioning your name because again, we're not quite sure if you want
It
your.
could-
You probably don't. You
right,
probably don't want to reveal
but
your name.
here's the thing. This is pinned to the door. So us discussing something that they've released to
That's
the
public.
entire public
That's
has
public.
now become public. Okay, so I'll be honest. I'll fight tooth and nail anybody that comes through and says, you need to remove that. And I'm going to say, yeah, bite me on that one. So that's just where that's going to come. So it's public knowledge. Okay. And it's also to the point, there's no personal information. He's already put his own name out there 100 million times. So I'm not releasing any information that's not already on his channel. Okay. On his Facebook, the people he talks to. We are allowed. Oh, I was going to have you read what that guy said. He said that we're allowed to discuss what's going
Where is
on. It was just up there a minute ago. You just took him down. He said that we're allowed to talk. We're allowed to discuss the news, right? And I'm like, yeah. So it was up there. So yes, no, I agree with that. Yeah, discussing the news is allowed now,
Right.
isn't it? Especially when you have a
Edward
video out.
says, "Great job from Ground Zero." It's ironic how fitting, name was. Solar Journey says, "Discussing the news is allowed." Correct. It is. It is. It's First Amendment. Also, for those of you who are new, again, like Just Facts is, what did I miss? Hello again, banned from what? You missed a couple guests that was on our live today. Again, there was an incident, of course, that had something to do with Dexter and being, assaulted. And here
In a
is,
video.
for those of you who are just now coming in, again, here is the letter, and this letter is in public.
It is
It is
pinned
displayed
to
to the-
Ground Zero.
Yes, it's public on the door. Correct.
Now, if our friend that was just on here a minute ago, somebody asked him or he felt that he needed to remove it from his channel, that's on him. And I'm sorry, the only person that can call me right now would be Ground Zero that would say, hey, do you guys mind? No, he put that out there. It's out there, and I'm going to stick with that. And I get what he's saying, because evidently that channel has removed a lot of videos. I haven't heard exactly why he's removed quite a few of them from now to way back. Somebody said it wasn't only those videos of him talking about Mark. It was supposedly a bunch of them. So I'm not even going to get into any of that. But I'm not going to remove this live stream unless I'm actually served.
Yeah, Lawson PH, is Mark banned from Ground Zero or just banned from vlogging inside Ground Zero like all other vloggers are? Well,
Allegedly, the
vloggers are
property.
not. All vloggers as of now are not allowed to vlog inside Ground Zero.
Filipino or not.
Correct. And Mark is not allowed on the premises.
Yep, and I know that's where Paul used to do them. So
that's what I mean.
I like to be a fly on the wall right now when Paul's like.
Well, and like I said,
I'm sure he had a
one
word or
person's
two.
actions again could eventually impact everybody else, and that's something we've been trying to tell you guys again. Unfortunately, if you misbehave, you may affect not just you. In this case, he affected his family too, and the vlogging family as well. Patty Salmon says, has the victim pressed charges? Now, there's a good mix of both one saying no and the other saying yes. However, I would lean towards, again, from the side of they probably are, because the fact that the other side's keeping quiet, that's a sign, if that makes any sense. The videos, there is a video, and only the close friends and family of the victim have access to this video. And like I said, that probably is more of your proof, as it were, or probability of that side
That's
will
odd.
probably eventually press charges.
Didn't we have a channel that was just called Midwest?
Right.
Because further down, James Hidden, which comes up under Midwest, we had somebody where their name said Midwest across it. Maybe it's their second account. He says, this channel reminds me of The View. Gossip, gossip, gossip. I wouldn't call it gossip. You know what? We've heard several messages and a few emails, and thank you for the emails, that had said exactly that you guys need to do something else, do other content. We got 1,000 videos, a ton of shorts. We've helped hundreds come here. We've done hundreds of video chats with people coming here. People want to see this as an absolute negative. But again, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He already put that out there. A bunch put it out there. And a lot of people that are going to say things about us are for obvious reasons of what it is. One, it could just be jealousy because we are getting numbers. One, that they just don't like that it's a female putting the information out, an expat female living here. Okay. Could be because Georgia Filipino. You know how many people actually just don't like Filipinos and actually have male fellow Filipinos? And I told George this. A lot of the people here have a form of prejudice against the male Filipinos, okay, versus like the Filipinas that are married to these expat men. They've got these Filipino men pegged as being, what do you call that? Not a persona. They've got them like pegged.
Well,
Like
there's
they're
a there's a
drinkers, stereotyped.
There's a
Okay.
stereotype.
So our channel gets stereotyped and all kinds of things constantly. But it's funny when some of these smaller channels cover it. Now that maybe they're deleting all their comments, you get an attaboy and attaboy, you're so right, and blah, blah, blah. But it's, they come right back in and say something about we're gossiping, try something else. It's like, yeah, we got 1,000 of these videos. Go watch them.
Well, 1,000 of not these videos, rather.
Yes, that's
but
pretty much right.
in the end, again, I actually was reading comments this morning, and somebody did say something. Okay, one person says, "What are you guys doing here? Saying
Blue
all this
Pony.
stuff? You guys are basically." I can't read it to you verbatim, but they basically saying, "Why are you guys talking about rumors here?"
Yeah. Rumors.
No, and somebody else actually defended us, and thank you. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but he says, again, I'm paraphrasing here. And the other guy said, "You're kind of hypocritical, dude." I'm like, because he said, "You're kind of hypocritical. You're here attacking them about talking about rumors, but you're here, aren't you?"
Right. The same ones that send the emails, the same ones, and I'm going to call them out. Those multiple channels that are actually talking about us are putting out the same type of content. Then they double back and say, I didn't do this.
Correct.
And I didn't do that.
It's
And I'm
kind
like,
of-
dude, you do it constantly.
Yeah,
but
I don't talk
they're
about
doing
this.
it
I
for
don't do drama.
views
I'm like,
and-
you're doing it now.
Right. You're doing it too. And so from here forward, what did he call it? Pan? You know what? We're going to get a background where it just says Pan, Philippine Antics News Network. Sorry.
Now, I agree with Cecil Wampler. Old Dog and people in good standing will probably get a special permission to vlog as usual. Correct. The regulars that are
I don't
well behaved, they
know.
probably will. No, they probably will, because the key wording there is they need permission to vlog now. Not they're not completely banned. They just need a permit to vlog.
Right, but do you realize what kind of problems? I agree and disagree at the same time, because again, you can't just let some people in.
Well, in the end, it's all a manager's discretion.
I mean, I don't feel that Paul, I don't think Paul deserves to go in there when the rest can't.
Well, like I said, it's manager's,
good standing or not.
It's manager's discretion.
Okay. I'm just saying it doesn't matter
well,
for
I know.
me.
No,
There
no,
should
no.
be Filipinas allowed to go in there too. So they're going to have to go. I mean, honestly.
That's why I said manager's discretion. It not necessarily just
All right. So
Paul.
if it's just Paul sitting up there.
I'm not saying it's
and-
just Paul. I'm saying it's manager's discretion at that point. At this
Right.
point,
I get the manager's discretion, but what if it's just Paul vlogging there all the time? You think that's fair
that's
to the
up
other
to the
vloggers?
manager. It has something to do with me.
It's right for them just to choose
my
one person.
my opinion, and in actual reality, all probability is manager's discretion. That's up to him. It's just Paul. Again, nothing against Paul.
No,
But
nothing
what I'm
against
saying
Paul.
is,
I'm just saying
odds
there
are he will
should
still be
be-
allowed, as with
Well, I'm just-
certain vloggers that the manager knows that will behave.
I got that. And I know it's an unfair world, and that's where I'm coming from, because more than likely, if it comes down to that, then there's going to be a bunch of favoritism.
Well, of course.
And I get
Of
that.
course.
And then all of a sudden, there's just 3 people in there vlogging constantly. I feel personally that won't even happen.
I don't care what company it is. I don't care how unbiased a company is. There's always use of favoritism, and they just won't admit it. But
No,
yeah, of course,
okay.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree to disagree to agree back around in the circle. We'll see. But right now, it'll probably affect everybody for a while.
Blue Pony says, "Hey guys, hope you're well. Who is
Hey, Blue
expat
Pony.
Mark? Every man has a story channel. Yes, yes, we're talking about Mark.
Paul, or sorry, I got Paul on the brain. Mark Everyman has a story, has released a video. We put it in the last two descriptions that he has put into public, where he said that he had a fist fight. More footage has come out. Now photos of the victim have come out, which allegedly filed something, and then it leaked out in another video last night that there's stuff up and coming. That's fine. Our view and my thoughts is this is going to be expensive to Mark Thornton. It's going to go on forever, but could lead up to several things happening to him. And he's got a baby that's coming, and he might not get an exit clearance. There may be a lot of things. And there's other channels recently calling to actually have him, they're reporting him to the embassy situation. Us personally, the answer is we are not. No reports have been made. We don't have
As
any
of now,
friends.
yeah.
You know, personally, we've never met him. We're on his Facebook. He declined pretty abruptly that no, he won't come on. There were statements about that made. That's fine. We're still going to cover it. And with this letter being pinned to Ground Zero, we're going to release that too. So whether he's been served this paper or not, he's going to I thought maybe he was, because his new interviews are no longer at Ground Zero. So it's kind of odd for me to hear that statement. If you guys notice, the last one was at his home and the other one was probably recorded before that. But the incident appears to have happened according to CCTV. Okay, it is dated for the 6th. So that's allegedly when this all happened. And so
Yeah, Joseph Ralph says, "Hi to George. Thanks for keeping us informed of the news." Now this is true. Thad says the funny thing is vloggers nowadays think they're discovering the Philippines for the first time, and it's kind of
there's a lot
annoying.
of-
Yes, it's kind of like.
But I think
Yeah.
people deserve to go through and vlog. That is
No,
for
you
sure.
are free to vlog, but it's just funny
Well,
that they keep that.
Even George gets annoyed to see the same ones, big or small. Like you'll see somebody with 1.5 million, they'll come in and do an exact same thing. Here I am at Jollibee's, here I am at SM Mall. And it's cute, but for George, at some point, if George kicks back and says, that's really annoying, then it must be.
Right. It's like Thad says, it's like discovering the Philippines for the first time.
Here, 1 second. We just got an important message that came through.
Oh my! Read that, babe.
Please don't deport Mark nor his opponent. We have enough problems in the U.S. Not my problem. You get a mark, and you get a mark, and you get a mark.
Everybody gets a mark.
That was funny. What was further up for those that just joined the room about Mark? Kind of like when people pretend to be superheroes outside.
Oh, where's that at?
Oh, I don't know, babe. The comment where you said, "Can I be Mark and you can be Dexter?"
Oh, yeah. He says
Kinda
that there's
fun.
Filipino kids. I saw Filipino kids asking, "Hey, it's my turn to be Mark." Yeah, it's hilarious.
Jeez.
Matt T says, "That's right, Heidi. That's why none of them ever have Filipinos on their vlogs." And
Well, I was told that Mark was confronted about that. And so then all of a sudden he had JRC on there and he had some other Filipino. But here's the thing. I don't know. You've rarely seen either of them interview a woman. I think Old Dog interviewed one American woman a while back, but there for a long time, all he had was Filipinas on his thing. Okay. And I definitely know Mark would have never had me on there, but all of a sudden he's announcing, I only interview men. So it's like, okay, Mark. So nobody's going to give us a leg up in this town. So we're creating our own now, aren't we?
yeah, now this is a valid question. Mitch Lewis says, "Are foreigners legally allowed to assault foreigners?" I'm an American. It's not that you're legally allowed to attack other foreigners. It's just that our legal system and the police department, again, I'm not picking on anybody.
Yeah, they
They're-
really don't care.
They really don't have technically time for this because most of the time, honestly, here's the
It's usually
thing.
bickering.
Correct. It's
It
more.
rarely comes to this.
It's relatively petty. Relative. I said relative. However, if injuries are incurred, as in this case,
and filed, which is
and
in
filed,
this case.
then it takes it to another level. Right.
Yes.
Manny C asking for a friend, right?
And guys, if you haven't subscribed, it helps our channel. Show these other channels that like bug you. And I'm going to be honest about it. If those other channels that we talk about, if there are other channels around you, show your support to us and subscribe and help our channel grow. And I'll throw a ton of ants on George. And that's just the way it's going to be.
It's like Lucky Luke.
Lucky Luke.
Ants,
Luke?
Ants and Honey.
Ants and Honey, huh?
Yeah. Well,
no, guys,
that's
just show
an
some
old
support.
comic, babe. Lucky Luke.
Never heard of it.
What? Lucky Luke and his Ants and Honey. But anyway, Manny C says PANN, Philippine Antics News
I'm
Network.
really going to use that one. You guys be surprised when we come up with that the next
Matthew
time.
says, is Barry Jordan still standing in ground zero?
Barry Jordan. I thought he was the one in jail.
Yes, that's a joke, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably saying.
Yeah, and Racer X says, grease the manager. Exactly. It in the end, it's all about manager's discretion. It really is.
That's kind of old. But look what happens when you use people's tags, babe. That came up underneath that person's name.
Roy Estrada says, hi, Dan George, just keep putting out content that you feel is relevant to your channel.
Yep.
If folks don't like it, don't watch it. Here's the good news. YouTube likes numbers, good or bad. No, Roy Estrada is correct on that. Whether, again, it's, that was actually a neutral statement. It's kind of like, if you don't want a channel's content, don't watch it. And however, YouTube, regardless of good content or bad content, if people are watching it, YouTube doesn't care. They just want views.
1 second. You see the title?
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair, yes. Hi Victoria, afternoon. Heidi, George, and Aaron. Hi Victoria, how you doing? Sun Moon, it reminds me of Pokemon. But anyway, many older expats have anger control issues. He had so much to lose by not having self-control. Yes, and that's an issue, yes. And again, it's his actions not just affected him at this point too, as well.
Hey, Black Grandpa.
Right. Black
Good
Grandpa
to
says,
see you if you're still
Mark
in
getting
the
banned is a
house.
good thing now. He can spend his last few days with his wife and you.
There you go.
Big Dave, if Mark is broke in the Philippines, he's going to be homeless here in the U.S.
Yes. Yep. I agree. And I'm not like trying to throw shade because I already said my ass would be broke there because if we had to start all over again, we've been here for 3 years. We've invested all of our money here. We have everything like locked down here. If all of a sudden we had to go back there and start over, not many of y'all can do that. Everybody pretends like there's some big baller here. And there's two things that are true is that it is really expensive in the US and it is really dangerous in the US. By the moment it actually is. I don't think he can handle either. I mean, it's just sad. I always get down to that sad part that it's really expensive. We can't afford to go back, but we ain't gonna sit there and hide that either. It's really expensive. So
right.
why would you put your life on the line like that? We put everything on that
for us to be in the US. Honestly, actually I was thinking about my beautiful wife last night and I was eating Japanese watermelon and I said to myself, I'm happy here.
I'm happy too, babe. A lot of people don't realize, they think when we bicker or you guys have seen us go off or you guys think our life is a certain way. He calls me beautiful every day.
Yes.
I cook for him. He cooks for me. He takes care of me when I'm sick. I take care of him. Yeah. We may not have a whole lot of money, okay, but we have happiness. We don't need a ton of money and 6 and 7 TVs and 3 or 4 houses and expensive cars. We're happy if we're sharing a bowl of rice outside with the cats and homeless. We would still be together. Okay.
Be happy
And we know that.
where you are, wherever you are. However, it's just easier here because everything's more affordable.
Hmm.
And we're not, again, pushing this out view. We're just saying you're a guest here, behave. I mean, I was looking at my
Will
beautiful
Smith.
wife last night. She was asleep and had the pillow ready. And I was like,
Oh, is that where you were going with that? You rat sucker?
yeah, I was like,
George, don't be a
well,
rat sucker.
yeah, you know. So,
Hey, check it out. Will Smith says, is eating Japanese watermelon a euphemism for something? Well, according to the Filipina P, it could be.
oh, damn. Now, here's the messed up part, the fact that she mentioned the watermelon thing.
Yeah, can anybody tell me
Now,
about the
here's
watermelon?
the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of you guys, keyword guys, a lot of guys don't know the watermelon euphemism.
Put that up.
Right.
He said, no money. Where'd you get the new library?
Right, there you go. Yeah, no, now the watermelon euphemism.
Oh,
Here's the thing.
well, tell 'em
The
why, where it
watermelon
came
is a real thing. However, the messed up part is even guys, a lot of guys don't know what that means.
all right. So we
I
like,
refuse to
I think,
tell Heidi what it is and whatever.
Yeah,
but it's a real thing.
okay.
I'll put it this way. American pie is the same as the watermelon thing, as
And
Filipino
I
P says.
decided,
And a lot of guys don't know this. That's the weird.
but the P knew
But
about it.
the P about, I was like,
And that's coming from George.
I know, I was like, how would she know that unless.
Okay, so what happened was, to fill you guys quickly in before we move forward with this, is the Filipina P. Okay, we watch her. We don't always agree with her stuff. Same thing as all these channels. I don't always agree with MYK's Philippine Journey. I don't always agree with what the Filipina puts out. I don't always agree with what Sunshine Shoulder puts out, but we're still like, should all be getting along situation. But the Filipina P put out, Are Women Delusional? And there's something that the P keeps doing over and over again, is she keeps cutting down Western women to get views. And it is clearly what she's doing. So she either puts out one type of video or another. And so I was watching it and listening to her, and some of them were funny, like women don't know how to remove the film from the TV dinner and all that. I get all of these different things exist. But then she got to the big women that wanted big dreams and big guys and all of that. She started picking on their size. And when you start picking on somebody because they're bald or because they're fat, and she went into making those references, she said, perish the thought, I'd rather cut a hole in a watermelon or something. Somewhere along that reference. I don't have the exact stuff. And then George goes, did she just say that? And I was like, yeah, he was sitting there watching. He couldn't believe she said it either. And I was going to cover it in a video. And I'm like, it's not worth my time situation. It just wasn't. But yeah. So the watermelon thing, George keeps making a joke about it. But she did know what the reference. I don't know what a reference to. I would rather cut a hole in a watermelon, perish the thought situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, and just because a woman is big, old, whatever color she is, it doesn't mean she doesn't deserve love. Now, she should have just said at that point that that person has lost their mind. She's never going to get that. Or, but she referenced it back to their size of how could they expect anything like that. And I'm like, that was a little rough. Like I said, you could have just said she was delusional in thinking she would get that type of man. She wanted a tall man. She wanted a certain color. She wanted a lot of money. Then reference to that. Don't reference to their size, because I don't reference things about her, because that's really a personal attack.
Well, not to mention, there's a duality to it. And what I mean by that is, most of her audience, okay, I get it. He's catering to Western men. Again, nothing against
so
Western men.
that's why I said that's where her views come in. I get it.
When you put into size on the female version, be aware your male audience are somewhat, most of them are of the same size. And it's kind of like, then your argument on the size of the opposite sex becomes invalid, because you're catering to men of the opposite sex of the same size.
Right, but she went into something sexual.
Correct. Well, what I'm saying is, when you go into certain arguments, you don't put in size.
I don't even want to think
you don't see
about
a presidential debate. You don't go to a presidential debate. You're like, you're bald. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's just a little odd. And I decided to rise above that one for sure. I don't care whether it's about her or not. Or, that wasn't going to bother me. Just like I said something about her bikini, that it was a flag, and there's a big debate about all of that. And some were for it, some were against it. And because we received a lot of emails, I'm over. But anyways, the
Yeah.
watermelon reference was
Yeah,
what brought it all
actually,
up.
here's interesting remarks. Big Dave says I love watermelons. That says only bar girls know those references. Which again, I'm not calling anybody what they are, but it's just odd that that's a ref. She made a reference of that because even I don't do that. Will Smith says, "Well, I tell you, here in Hong Kong, watermelons is so expensive. You'd be cheaper to paying for an escort."
Snap.
Now, here's the funny thing. Before
Japanese watermelon's really cheap.
yeah,
here.
when the Philippines was in lockdown, when foreigners were not allowed here, the Japanese watermelon I bought was 107 pesos. To get an escort was 100 pesos.
There was a point.
When Philippines was in lockdown, you could pay for an escort for 100 pesos. Put it that way. So technically, yes, you're correct.
Oh my gosh.
William says a lot of guys like bigger
They
ladies.
do, but they're closet about that, about their sexual preference and all of that. We know that.
Now,
I've been way bigger than I am now, and the guys had no problem all day long. I've never had a problem in choosing whether a guy's rich, poor, color, country. Any man that I thought was attractive and we got along, I've never been told no on anything. So I just think it's how you present your
it's a preference and it's also a
personality.
prejudice. And again, I've dated a lot of women, and even Heidi will tell you most of them were skinny, but I just didn't like it.
And his last wife was beautiful and still is actually. So I've always there was like a semi insecurity when I met because we were the difference of day and night. We both had dark hair and dark eyes and everything, but his wife was a knockout. So like,
But again, remember, there's prices to pay for beauty, as it were, if that makes any sense. And some of you know what I'm talking about.
yes.
Also, be aware by experience, Mo. I'm not prejudging, but I love Heidi because she has a lot of personality, a lot of strength, and I can't compare her to anybody, honestly. She's incomparable. She's more irreplaceable than everybody I've dated in the past. I mean, some of them are, yeah, like Heidi said, they're knockouts, but guess what? They won't hold a candle to Heidi. Trust me. Probably literally too. Um,
Then Dr. Van for a minute, and then we'll get back to Joseph.
Hey guys, following the channel because of the drama. I enjoy George's calm, rational style. This guy's been banned from what? YouTube? Sorry to ask, but I'm a bit late to the party.
I don't know what the reference to who's
No.
been banned.
No. He's asking who got banned and what.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, just Mark Thornton. I wouldn't bother with the letter again.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman, if you didn't know about Dumageddon, there was a vlogger over there that put his own video out on February 6th. It appears to be the date that he got into a fight with another gentleman, and then he's posted the video, and it's still up, where it's brought a lot of light to that area. There are a lot of expats talking about that. They now have banned him from Ground Zero. Ground Zero was exactly where Ground Zero is where they just had the embassy meeting. He's a
Yeah.
representative for them, Mark Thornton, and just like Paul Old Dog New Tricks here in the Philippines. And the United States Embassy, like I said, he's a representative. He's a representative for vloggers and other YouTubers. Now it looks like the YouTubers are banned from vlogging there, or any vloggers of any stature,
They
including
need permission.
Filipinos.
No.
So there was a letter released, and it is pinned
To the door.
publicly to a door there,
Yeah.
stating that he's not allowed, to come back. But they also said that he,
Yeah.
this is
Also be
dealing-
aware. Now I understand that the letter hasn't been served to him, but be aware it wasn't served to him because obviously he hasn't been back. To Ground Zero.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably
Again,
hasn't anyways.
we did confirm the letter was real. The letter is again the letter to be served to Mark is actually in the manager's hands right now, and this is confirmed. Yes.
But if you guys aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. We are trying to grow this channel. We are showing a different side to the Philippines. We show a good side, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we really do, based on, a female American expat, okay, and a Filipino resident citizen. He is born and raised here in the Philippines, but he has 28 plus years in the United States, so he knows both worlds. We're the only live stream that streams several times a week that does this. Like talk, we are actually a couple, a Phil Lamb couple that'll sit here and talk about what's really going on. And also, we've done expat help. We still do expat help. You guys get to see our lives. We are on a budget, so we kind of appeal to everybody, and we do want to hear from you. I did pin at the top of the link 259 people in the room. We want to hear from. Be nice, but we know Mark Thornton ain't going to drop in. We've sent an invitation yesterday, but I'd love to hear from. I was starting to look up Critter Hunter himself, but I doubt he will come forward. If he wants to just come in and promote his dive shop, even I don't have a problem with that. That would be great. Critter Hunter Republic is over there in Darwin, over there in the Dumaguete area. He is a cinematic photographer and does video and a dive professional. As I'm to understand, him and his team are about the only ones that have those certifications.
Yeah, he's
also
got books, and he's got really great photos of fishes, like crystal clear video and
that I will
photos
give
of
him absolutely
marine life. Yes.
Yeah. Or any other vloggers. Okay, we could talk vlogger to vlogger if there's something. I mean, as long as it's within a respectful range, like we're saying, guys, keep it simple. Come on in and say your hellos for sure. Ace Bachelor, cool. I like to hear from you.
Yeah, here's focusing. He said JR says 255 watching, 47 likes. Smash the like, people. Smash the like, people. Thanks so much, JR. Yeah, Focus in Asia is also a vlogger too in Angel City. He owns his own home, beautiful house. He said his number about how much he paid for his house, and it's spot on. The reason why I say that, because a lot of vloggers here say, "Oh, well, I paid this much for my house," and we're like, "No, you didn't." You know what I'm saying? And no, JR's a cool guy. Also, hey Niche, long time no see. I see you're in the house. Okay, now Blue Pony has a good point. Blue Pony says, "I know life is still very affordable in the Philippines compared to the U.S. Perhaps because of expats. Compared to years ago, can you give me an estimate how much more expensive life here now? Now, for instance, rent. What used to be 7,000 2 years ago is now 10,000. Now, a 3,000 peso difference, honestly, for most Westerners, that's like, meh. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, whatever. But to a lot of locals, they're like, whoa, that's too high. But what I'm saying is, for a good example would be rent, which was, again, 2 years ago, 7,000 is now 10,000. That's for rent. Now, as far as groceries are concerned, now there's somewhat an astronomical hike. I would say there's an increase on prices on groceries. Remember, this is an average number. I mean, there's some items like sugar like doubled in price, stuff like that, but some are minimal or no change at all. An average price increase is about 25%. So is it gonna break you? Most expats, no, it won't break you, but you do have to adjust your budget accordingly. Like I said, for instance, like me and Heidi, a year ago, we did survive on. This is not our budget, but we attempted a budget of 800 $800 per month total, rent, electricity, groceries, and we did it.
And
It's fine.
honestly, we could still do it now.
We can still do it now. However,
we live on double the money right now.
It'll be tighter if we did it now. Is it feasible to live on 800 per month? Yes, but don't do it. We do not recommend anything less than 1,000. Do not do it.
And don't let anybody tell you guys where your budget is. All these bawling expats, like vloggers and Facebookers and all these people that keep going on. Now, the money wise, okay, the Philippines is definitely getting expensive. You're going to hear others say, and there are a lot of expenses here. We're not even going to actually go into that full realm in this live stream. We're supposed to be live again Tuesday. Okay. So we'll bring in a bunch of this stuff to discuss budgets again and all that. But can we live on that probably now? Yes. Our rent's $180, 2 bedroom, 2 bath.
Even with the
gas.
Car.
Even with the car,
Even
because
it
only takes a tank of gas for us to get around town. We have our e-trike. Then you have like the basics. Now, fruits and vegetables are getting expensive. We don't eat out a bunch anymore because we've been watching, like, as far as eating healthier, which would
Yeah, and
not include eating out.
we have streaming services. We have Netflix. We have Disney. We have Amazon.
We run air conditioning 24/7. So all of that
24/7.
we can verify. We can still afford to live at that price. The extra is put into a lot of extra things, like savings. And can we cut down on the AC? The answer is yes. So we could, but
Well,
it
actually,
depends if you're going to be comfortable
cutting
or
down
not.
on AC will probably cost more.
Might cost you your
No,
life.
no. This is a real thing because when you turn off your AC, when you
And-
turn it back on, it has to work double to put the temperature back up.
Yes.
No, that's a real thing. And also, well, at 800, we're saying is, can we still live our life, like have our streaming services? Yes. Can we still have our car? Yes. Can we have all? Yes. What we'll cut down is we can't go out to the mall. We can't go out to Ground Zero if we're there. What I'm saying is we can't go out to Starbucks. It just limits the
Where we're
outings.
going to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Big Dave says maybe Dexter refused to do an interview with Mark, and that's why he got a punch in the face.
no, actually, no, sir.
No,
He
no.
did do an interview with Dexter.
No,
He
I-
has since removed it. Is that
Right.
sarcastic? From
No,
Dave?
that's a joke. Yes. It's
No,
Big
he
Dave. It's Big
actually
Dave.
did, but he's
It's Big
removed
Dave.
it. Yeah, he
Um,
removed it.
They call it palabiru. Yeah. It means he's just joking around. Yeah. Situations like this is why most of my friends are Filipinos.
Further down, I cannot pronounce your name. That's Nick Polska.
It's niche, babe. It's niche.
Yeah, I can't say it. Pronounce it. Sorry.
Niche.
Niche. I could
Niche.
could not pronounce it there
Hi,
for a minute.
niche. How you doing?
Hi,
It's been a while.
Niche.
It's been a while.
Anyone know when Mark's baby is due? I could probably guesstimate when, but it should be pretty soon because it's got to be very soon, probably within a few months. I don't
Dang,
know. We weren't calculating that like exactly.
Yeah, we know. We honestly don't know.
I mean, I guess we've been kind of busy looking at other things, but I didn't go in and make a calculation. But it's got to be pretty soon. I can try to. I did send a message to.
Yeah, I love you guys. You guys are hilarious. I'm just
You
laughing.
could still put that up. I don't know what that means. Does that just mean it's round or?
No.
Okay. Well, you're Filipino. You're allowed to say it. That's why I put George up to stuff.
Well,
Go ahead. You're allowed to say it.
this it's not from us. Okay, it's not from us. I'm reading somebody's comment. Niche says
Yes, we can.
the pea has a butter face.
I don't know what that means, so I'm kind of.
Well, again, Niche said it, not me. I didn't say it, and that's Niche's point of view. And actually, I believe Niche is a female. I'm not sure, Niche. It's been a while. It's been a while since you've been with us.
I'm gonna start calling out stickers. Hey guys, if you guys send a sticker, I'll punch George in the nose.
Yeah. Now see.
Hey George, I'm gonna punch you in the nose for a sticker for cat food.
Oh dang. No. There's channels that do that, and some.
And they get the stickers.
No, they do. There's channels that do that, and actually, one of them got in prison for that. But anyway, Solar
For
Journey.
punching you in the nose.
No, there was a channel that was like viral that actually
That did violence
yeah,
for
yeah.
the stickers. I'm joking,
Solo
guys.
Journey. No, it's a joke. Solo Journey
Pretty
says
cat food, but
right. George says over $50 a month seems a big hike for anyone. Now, in the West. Not for rent. I mean, for rent, I get it. $50 is big, but for rent, if you're paying rent, average rent when I left, I wasn't renting, by the way. Average rent was like $1,200. So a price hike of $1,250. I mean, back then, it's been a while since I've been in the U.S. So it's not that bad, but here, yes, $50. For a rent hike, yes, it's a lot. Yes, that also tells me, Sojourner, you've probably been here a while, or you're familiar with Philippine prices. Because again, $50 for Philippine price hike, yes, that's insane. And Alex Roman, again, that's the thing, and that's why we said that there in all probabilities there's legal action because. Yes, you're correct. Always three sides to a story. He says, she says, and somewhere in the middle. And in this case, the other person's being quiet. And again, the video has not been released. There is a video of the
Trying to
assault,
get a hold of Justin.
and it's not released, and that tells me they're probably going to do some legal steps. Okay, I said probably. In all probability, if somebody keeps quiet and they have video evidence,
And that's why I wouldn't
They're-
expect Justin to join.
Correct.
So
correct.
today,
So
but
that
let's
side
still
of the
put it
party
out,
may
so,
keep media silence for their case. Again, just
And I
saying.
think he's got an event coming up, the Critter Republic.
Oh, Fresh Aloha! How are you doing? Hi, miss you guys.
Hey, Fresh
Yep, you're my
Aloha.
favorite YouTubers. Had to delay my return. I believe that's what he says.
There's an Asia, Philippines World Trade Center, Manila. There's some stuff going on. Let's see, Matt Reed. Okay, so I thought maybe he was going to be there, but yeah, there's a bunch going on.
Yeah. Collective Soul says
Critter Republic died.
Mark Thorin has all the behavior of someone who's bipolar. Again, it's possible he has. Again, we don't know if he's mentally healthy. If he's,
I'm just going to shut
if he
that.
has dementia or is bipolar.
It doesn't matter. Do I go around punching anybody?
Yes.
Well, yeah, just you when we're boxing in the kitchen when you won't make me my breakfast. No, truth is I already admitted that I have my own mental issues. I've never denied that. No, I get that, George. George is waving me off here. I admitted to my high anxiety and that there are a lot of guys that come here that have mental issues. Okay, hiding it and all that, it's going to seep out in front of everybody anyways. But since I was a child, I've had high anxiety and there were issues that I grew up with. Okay, but with me having mental issues, I'm still not going around punching anybody. Okay, there is stages of dementia, not saying that he has it, but it's been suggested from other people that's possible that's what he has. Okay, and with that issue, guys, you got punched for the money.
Okay, I get it. I got it now. Yeah, no, that was a joke, obviously, but thank you so much, Blue Pony.
I got
appreciate
one.
your
I
support.
got one over that Blue Pony. George, punish yourself.
Oh, you mean what?
Yeah, punish yourself.
$50.
Boom. See what? That's what you.
We're just kidding.
We're just kidding. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
So what I'm saying is you guys. I mean, I know, George. It's kind of. I have been so open about my life here, but I'm not putting out anything more than I don't want people to know. There's nothing else to reveal. Everybody that's been watching us from the beginning knows that I deal with my own mental issues, my own mental health. We all struggle with it.
Everybody has some issue.
So I get George was just waving at me because he feels it's super personal. And
Even
Filipinos
the healthy
do.
ones will always have some form of mental issue.
Correct. And ever since I was a child, I had high anxiety, ADHD, all of this stuff. I had I was always like you couldn't keep me down situation. So I was full of life. I still am full of that. But with you're full of it. So don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. So in saying that I'm full of it, okay, which hey, at least I admit to that with illness, like I have lupus, okay, an autoimmune issue. And it's really pretty bad. Kidney issues, everything. Okay, it's getting better now with me losing weight. But that's a depressing situation. So when you said bipolar, it kind of both hit me because there's days I'm full of energy and high anxiety. And there's days where I get really, and it's because I'm not feeling good. So it's kind of a level of bipolar. But it's a possibility.
Well, now Nish even said it.
But it doesn't mean I'm going to go hurt somebody or follow through with something with so much on the line.
Like Nish says, we all have demons, some more than others. Even the mentally healthy ones, like me, again. Even I have my own demons. Everybody have their own issues, and now that's why we said that it's best for you to have an outlet. One of them says maybe they should join a boxing club. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because they can let out that aggression, and because if you keep it in, eventually you're gonna explode. Manny C says you're my boy Blue. Bisayan Kano says cheers for the honesty, Heidi. And Nish also says, Heidi, the mullet is tight. Looking good.
Hey, thanks. It's getting there, isn't it? Look at I got known for my mullet in the beginning. It's, yeah, usually, but it's getting longer.
Now, actually, Dr. Van says, I have heard of this. Heidi, try acupuncture, Chinese medicine. I know there's a school in Manila. They usually have student clinic. These medicine is great for emotional, mental concerns, and and all physical issues. Actually, yes, I believe in acupuncture. I actually studied it. I'm not good at it, nor would I ever try it. But what I'm saying is, yes,
Yeah,
it's
I was on
effective.
Ritalin. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing I deal with is that. So I have a medication that I use here if I can't sleep. But hey, Kenny, what is up? Oh, thank you for
Kenny
the
and
cat
Suvik,
food
yeah, thank you so
funds.
much for the cat food fund. We are
That's-
actually
that's-
supporting a lot of cats out here.
When we went out to give Gusty his birthday and everything,
present, yeah.
we came back in and we got this little kitten living in the car that won't let us catch him. And we just brought in Mango, which is a new cat we added to the brood. But we have probably 8 of them that just come into the carport and sleep. Some of them sleep across the street until it's, food time. But we feed them twice a day, which cats are usually only fed once a day. But there's just so many of them, so we're not sure
Well,
who
and
actually
a couple
eats.
of them
And
are pregnant or have kittens.
yeah, that's sad. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Will Smith says they're
thank
not
you.
eating cat food yet, are they?
George might.
Okay, fact, guys, not lying. Cat food is more expensive than human food.
Yes.
Okay, a kilo of
We're probably
rice,
spending.
a kilo of good rice on average is 55 pesos per kilo. Good rice.
Pet food's about $100 right now for us.
Yeah, pet food is
It's the real deal.
130 pesos per kilo. So think about it. Rice is 55 pesos for the best one you can get. And then cat food, not the best. A step high from the lowest.
He
It's
says
130 pesos per kilo.
No, he says he pays $1 for Friskies. Yeah, no, we're not paying 50 cents a kilo. I wish. The cheap stuff is really costing
Ooh.
us here. Must be nice.
No, that's scary.
What's that? The Friskies?
Yeah.
Why is that? Oh, that's not good. What is that because of?
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's probably a different. No, that is really cheap.
Yeah, that's a great price for cat food. Either way, I still won't eat it.
We can get a bag for right now. It's about 2,800 pesos for the inexpensive stuff. That's almost $50, give or take. It's closer to 50 than it is, and that's just for the cat food. And the cats will definitely go through that in a month.
Yeah, Miyagi's in the house, and he said, "Long distance backpacking helped me mentally, like I didn't do enough walking in the military." Basically, that's how he unwinds. That's how he releases his tension. It's kind of like me when I was in the U.S. Honestly, I just took my motorcycle and drove, and that's all I did was drive my motorcycle and go to the mountains and stuff, and go to the highway. And admittedly, I went to 120 miles per hour on my motorcycle. I shouldn't have, but it's me releasing my aggression. I'm not hurting anybody, but no, I only did that on straightaways, which there's no cars. There's certain spots in Florida where the highway is completely empty, and some of you know where I'm talking about. Bruce Davis says one guy made the choice to get up and set at words, and then he went to a place where CCTV caught him assault another human and disrespect the country. Now, from my understanding, people weren't aware that CCTV was there. That's another big misconception a lot of people have here in the Philippines. There's actually CCTVs everywhere. And again, another misconception is cops don't know what they're doing here. No, false. Cops can access a lot of CCTVs, including the private ones. I mean, they're not going to hack them. They'll ask permission for the footage. But for instance, here down our street, just within eyesight, like just standing on my balcony and going right and left with my head, there's CCTVs on our street, left and right, everywhere. No. And again, when in this incident, in this big incident in Ground Zero, CCTVs were existed, and somebody says, I don't think they're aware that they're there.
1 second. No, just wanted to make an offer to another vlogger, which we respect him on that one. He kind of sometimes covers side subjects, kind of like we do, but I thought I'd offer with it being a bigger room. So
Yeah. Rob Nolan says, from what I'm ascertaining from all vloggers in the Philippines, these are too many Westerners.
well, right now I think it's not as many as people think there are. I thought there were a lot more, but 700,000 Americans are here, and the percentage of foreigners here to Filipinos is not. I think it's under 10%. So
Yeah. For those price watchers here, Will Smith says, so basically you're eating watermelon with a side of Friskies. You're a baller.
that's George.
Well, that's an example. A big watermelon that I bought is 107 pesos, and again, here where we're at, okay, the cat food is 130 pesos per kilo. So that tells you again, cat food costs more. Again, where we're at, costs more than human food. Bisayan Cano says Mindanao really is a little cheaper than most places. It could be a different brand of Friskies bag, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink. My younger brother ate cat food when he was young. Niche says, I feed my 2 Shih Tzus Costco rotisserie chicken only $4.99. There you go. Victoria says, close the live chat screen and press the like button. Thanks so much for your support, Victoria. William says,
real quick for you read that. You can leave that up. Anybody who wants to join our live stream will be up for a little bit longer. We do want to hear from you in regards to this. For those that have just joined the live stream, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Show a little love for this channel because we organically grow. We do want to hear from you guys on all subjects. We'll be covering other subjects besides this. This isn't the only one. We're at 1.5 million views in a couple years that we've been doing this. And the type of live stream that we run goes into our life to expat help. We answer questions. That's what we want you to do. We also want you guys, if you want to cam up and let us know how you feel about, Mark being currently now is banned from Ground Zero. I'm sure that he already knows, and I'm sure he's sitting back thinking a lot of things right now. It's probably not going to affect him a lot. He'll just go somewhere else, I'm sure. But that is where they did the interviews, and it's one of the places they like to meet. There was accusations put in the letter that came from Ground Zero, which is now public knowledge. He has put his own public knowledge out there of a fight that he got into a fist fight, which is kind of crazy, and he's leaving it up. We want to hear from you. If you guys have any further knowledge or live in Dumaguete or you plan to come here, what you actually think of this. Is this going to affect whether you come here or not? So we want to hear from you guys on that for sure.
yes, definitely.
Oh, snap. I don't want to go to the mall.
William says there's an ordinance law that requires all business to have CCTV outside and accessible by police. I guess that's in Thailand. Sayaton? I'm not sure. I could be butchering the pronunciation. But yeah, again, here in the Philippines, there's CCTVs everywhere. And again, behave. There's actually, it's surprising like how many CCTVs there are, to be honest with you. Now, are they all operational? I would say 50% of them are. So for example, here we have 2 that are operational here. I mean, in our house. And the reason for 2 is one is backup. It's one of those, if one goes down, the other one is running kind of deal. One's still recording.
Yeah, and especially with us having
right,
the e-trike in a car, and with me being an expat, and things happen here in the Philippines. A lot of people have them in the U.S. We just can't,
Right, and same thing. A lot of places that I know, again, for instance, that way, I know there's 3 CCTVs, and I would say 2 of them are operational. And same thing over this way. There's probably 4 CCTVs, and I know it's a good probability that two of them are working, because some people, CCTVs are just machines. They do break down. But like I said, we have two in our
Which
house,
were really inexpensive.
but they're both running. And the only reason we have two, because I'm one of those, I'm a prepper in the US. And it means that if you have one, you have none. If you have two, you have one. That's the prepper mentality, meaning you always have to have a backup. Jim Wright says, really enjoying the show. Keep it up. Bruce Davis says, love, 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 love. I've got my popcorn still ready. Will Smith says the Best in Show, I think it was called. He's referring to a TV show. I'll check that out.
1 second. A day ago, look what he promoted.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. No. Oh, so okay. I'm correction. Sayatan is 50 kilometers south of Dumaguete, so it's here in the Philippines. So, see, that's what I'm saying. That's in the Philippines in Sayatan. William said there's an ordinance that requires all businesses to have CCTV outside and accessible by police. And again, that's in the Philippines. And again, there's a remarkable amount of CCTVs here in the Philippines. And most of them you don't even pay attention to, because, in all honesty, nobody looks up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, somebody was asking about how far along his wife is. As of February, actually 13 days ago, she might get offended. She looks to be about 8 months pregnant. So she's got to be getting close. They just finished a baby shower. So let's see. This is February, probably April, maybe. So pretty soon. That's a pretty good size. She is well on her way there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And like I said, Focus on Asia, which again, he's here in our area, and he verifies. JR says half the CCTVs are not on to save electricity, like those believe driving without their headlight on their scooters, motorcycles save some money. Yes. No, again, half of them are operational, but still, half is still a lot, because again, not even our full street. We have two, they have three, but I'm pretty sure half of them are operational on the ones that have three CCTVs. Dr. Van says, so I've been watching these vloggers in the Philippines because considering going and checking it out. There's also so many YouTubers that the getting info is easy, but not necessarily all accurate info. Correct. You have to discern which one is real, which one is fake, whose prices are correct, whose prices are off.
Yeah, because there's a lot more of them. When we were came here 3 years ago, like I said, George returned home after being in the U.S. for over 28 years. His family is here. He was born and raised here. He's a Filipino citizen, so he's got the best of both worlds. Okay, but when we came back, there was only so many putting out expat help and videos because they were limited. We're not saying they weren't all here. We're not even taking any claim to anything. But when the country reopened about over a year and a half ago, when everybody started coming in, it flooded vloggers. And now there's so many different people. Sometimes we do feel that it's just to grab content. We said it's a sea of information. And we keep hearing people say, don't do this, don't do that. And what we're saying is, you've got to set your own, like how much money you can live on, and you have to come here and see, and we can only show you how we're actually living to give you an ideal. So there's a sea of information out there.
Yeah, and not to mention again, one, we're not in Dumaguete. Okay, first off, not that there's anything wrong with Dumaguete. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. However, these actions do give Dumaguete a bad name. And again, it's not just one person that mentioned that, you know what, I was thinking of moving to Dumaguete, but now it's off. It's not even on the list anymore, if that makes any sense.
Oh, snap.
It's like a bad taste in their mouth.
Real quick, can you see that?
Which one? The first one?
The bottom one. She did.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Van says, so I've been seeing them also observing the drama from a distance. It's disconcerting. I would love to hand in Dumaguete, but not interested in nonsense.
No. Well, like I said, there's a lot of them covering it, and we've already been said that us covering it is just about jumping on board. They said that about a lot of different things that we covered, and it's just a different perspective, and it has something to do with what to do, what not to do. Um, and we're just covering what was actually out there is the third
Yeah,
side to
and
it.
like
And some of them got in
correct.
there for their own personal information that they can't. There's a lot of them that just absolute, and I'm going to have to say this, a lot of those channels just hate the guy. So a lot of them are just presenting their personal feelings and it's bleeding out because some of the channels literally have 1,000 subscribers, 1.2, and you'll see their other views. They've got like 20 views. And this is not the guy. A lot of you think we're referring back to the guy that was on here today and the other day. No, there's a lot of them. A bunch of them have come up in our feed, like one after the other. Some have 2,000 subscribers, and we're not saying we're any better because I'm mentioning numbers. What I'm saying is all the content that they put out is just hating on each individual vlogger, and that's all they've got situation. And it's a lot of their personal feelings, and we get it, but they're not like getting down to the nitty gritty of what could happen to him, and what he did was wrong, and it's kind of all over the place. So
Right. And in Dumaghetti's defense, again, be aware it's just one little area and it's just one, this is just one person doing something wrong and publicly admitted it. And what I'm saying is there's a lot of good places out there and it's up to you to make your judgment. For example, Angeles City. It's judged by because of Walking Street. Remember, those are only two little streets in Angeles. I mean, literally two little streets. They're not even long streets. They're actually very short streets of that. And a lot of people judge Angeles City for it. Now, Angeles City is what I would call a quasi metropolitan area, meaning it is a city. However, it is not up to US standards being a city. You know what I'm saying? It's westernized, but not quite. Not like BGC, not like Makati, not like Cebu. Those are heavily westernized cities. Angeles is like a quasi, not quite, not really. And same thing with Dumaguete. And as Bisayan Kano says, Dr. Van, just avoid Dumaguete. So many other islands with money, many places to offer with virtually no foreigners. Mindanao is pretty unique for that. What he's saying basically, you're already in the mid south of the Philippines. There's so many more beautiful islands surrounding Dumaguete. Like for instance, what's that island that Panglao, for example, Panglao. Bohol, same thing. They have so many very tropical places in Bohol and Panglao and a lot of beautiful beaches. And that's what Bisayan Kano is saying. Well, Mindanao and Palawan is also what he's saying is you're already that far south, you might as well go to these other islands. That's what he's saying. Miyagi says old age doesn't always equate to being mature mentally and being wiser. Yes, that is correct. Some people get more stubborn, more arrogant. Correct.
Hey Miyagi, why don't you come on in here? Jump on in this room, man.
Right, Miyagi.
Right?
Yeah. Go smoke your cigar and join us. There you
Yes.
go. No. Miyagi is a good friend of ours, and he's
Very nice
he's
guy.
actually a cigar connoisseur, and that's why I said that. Dr. Van says I enjoy Paul's channel. Regular guy's funny as heck, and
We
a couple
enjoy
other
them.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, why not cover Tim K's trouble? We actually covered it yesterday. I guess you missed that one.
We did?
Yeah, we had Andy Omar over.
Well, he talked a little bit about it, but here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, yes,
Yeah, see?
as I'm to
They
understand
have talked about it. Yeah.
yeah,
We
we
did.
talked a
We
little
did.
bit about it, but I don't know. We just don't really follow Tim K, and I don't know. He didn't sucker punch somebody out in the middle of. I don't know anything about any of that, and it didn't. Nobody put a video out that showed all of that either.
No.
I mean, I know
okay.
Andy talked about some of that, but when it comes down to Tim K didn't release a video showing this violent act, and I
He-
don't think Andy Omar did. I heard there was a confrontation.
Well, that's the thing. He did. Okay, he did not broadcast a violent act, but he did broadcast inciting a confrontation.
Who did?
Tim K.
Oh, where he talked about what had happened.
He confronted Andy Omar, and he incited a confrontation, not necessarily violent one or something, but point is he did broadcast he was starting trouble.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean, I'm not saying he was or not.
We'll wait for the next one.
There you go.
And kind of has to I mean, I wouldn't say it has to kind of pertain to us either, but some of the stuff we've covered is because we've been involved in one end or another, or we have something similar we could say about it. And I do come back around to knowing that what type of legal trouble you can get into just by, like audio or what I call audio, sorry, that you can get into for saying bad things about people. And so
and
sometimes
again,
it does kind of pertain to what we're
just
doing
to
too.
reiterate for those of
Can't
you
cover
who are
all the acts.
right.
It's another thing.
Just again to for those of you who are new to the channel and haven't been watching our other shows.
And there's always tomorrow.
Right. Just so you guys know, again, for the incident involved, meaning the assault, again, just real quick for those of you who are just coming in again, this is Dexter. You can see his eyes completely bloodshot. He was attacked, and again, you can see like lacerations on his nose and then on his cheek, which tells you again that Mark is right-handed.
And his eye.
Yeah, and he tried to gouge out his eyes. But here's the thing, again, for those of you,
and he's been banned from Ground Zero.
Right, he's banned from Ground Zero.
According to the letter that Ground Zero, and we spoke to Ground Zero this morning.
Yes, there's confirmation of this is real.
Correct. So it's not a fake letter. We 100% have the actual.
They have the letter on their door. We already showed it multiple times
public.
on this live.
It's not.
It is public.
It's not his. I'm trying to find it again.
Now he has not been personally served this letter because again they're waiting for him to walk in.
Well, that's what somebody said.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have full confirmation. Our guest that came in asked that we remove it because he hasn't been served. I feel different about it legally.
If it's publicly displayed,
then we can publicly put it on this channel. Nor does it have exactly. It has the city he's in and different things, but that's not his personal information.
Not his address.
But he has posted this. Ground Zero has posted for the world to see, and we had received this. I can check here in a minute, but it says they're sending him this letter because. Let me tell you why, is because we were also contacted before we got this letter. Somebody said that he was. We didn't know if he was. And Ground Zero has received, okay, we don't know if it's been emails, messages, calls, or otherwise. We're to understand people have been calling Ground Zero to make sure that he's not around. So if there are people calling and worrying if he's up there, then maybe they might have a fear of him. Maybe other Filipinos don't want to be around this type of behavior. But according to this, it appears he's been, according to Ground Zero's words, their words are that they're sending the letter in pursuant of recent events wherein is exhibited as acts of aggression and vexation towards our staff and customers within our business premises, and you have been banned indefinite from entering Ground Zero and being served. So he's been banned and from being served. But I'm still trying to get over the actual saying that he was aggressive and vexation towards the staff.
That's staff, correct.
And that would be Filipinos.
Correct. There's more to the story again.
Which opens up another can of worms. Okay, another can of worms. You can't yell at no staff. You can't be upset or aggressive. That if one of those employees decide to do something or file something because they feel worried about him, that'd be the end of that. I get there's a time limit and everything. That's from Ground Zero. So then what happened?
No. Collective Soul says, no 70-year-old in the right mind would do something like that unless they're drunk or messed up in the head. No,
what is he about 68?
He's drunk with coffee.
Somebody mentioned his age.
I thought he was around. It's a coffee shop. It's not a bar. He's drunk with coffee.
Right.
No, I'm laughing because it's somewhat out of place. Yes. Like this is a coffee shop, not a bar.
Right. So it just is a little,
Yeah. Bruce Davis says, Heidi George, you're not jumping on board. You're telling your subscribers true facts and how not to act. Correct.
Most of them are just most of
this
the comments.
isn't rumors.
Right.
This is confirmed.
Most of the comments that you will find, whether you're a small channel like ours, a micro channel, and we're nothing more than that, or a gigantic channel, or somebody with 1,500 subscribers or 500 subscribers, you will get haters. 99% they're other vloggers that you're getting this hate from. Then others don't like you on another personal basis. They don't like me. I'm somebody's aunt or mother from the US, spitting the truth about the foolish behavior that goes on here in the Philippines, whether it comes from Angeles City Walking Street area, whether it comes from Dumaguete, whether it's things we hear where people get us the information. You guys don't want to hear that all from me most of the time. And you definitely ain't been hearing it from George, but there are the true subscribers and watchers and people that want to know. And I keep mentioning TMZ or CNN because evidently, like TMZ, when they started out, they just took off doing all that celebrity gossip or putting their lives out there and all of that. And evidently, there's enough watchers that want to see that. So it's kind of like, it's like a supply and demand situation. You're willing to watch Tim K's channel to hear his drama, or Philly in the Philippines, or other channels, whether it's Andy Omar or some of these other channels.
Just
They're
examples.
they're examples, okay? And for that reason, okay, why not for us too? So
Well, and also be aware that it goes both ways. What I mean by that is, if, for instance, a Filipino
and at least
citizen
we cover
decides
other
to
things.
attack a foreigner, we would still talk about that too.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not leaning towards anybody in particular.
Yeah,
We're
I mean,
not
for people.
we're not necessarily biased, no.
No, I just didn't think about covering Tim K. And honestly, at some point, that was also covered a bunch. This is being covered a bunch too. But Bings were getting some additional information. I told George, I said, yeah, okay, we've done 2 or 3 videos on it. And usually you would just, okay. And we have until we got this. And I'm like, George is like, let's cam up. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, still
Right.
people want to know.
Now, for those of you again new to the channel, we don't have dedicated content about Tim K. It just organically just comes up, and then somebody will say something regarding that issue, and then we cover it during that time.
Well, and the same about Mark Thornton. Every man has a story. It's not like we've sat around for 3 months or a month or 3 weeks talking about different things going on in his life. There are some people that are totally dedicated to certain vloggers where their entire channels are about that. And again, no offense to any of the other channels that do it. That's what they do.
That's their
Raw
niche.
Facts did the same thing. There's some
Oh
dedicated.
my gosh, I forgot about that
They
channel.
haven't done that in a while. So there are channels that are just dedicated to doing that. And that's not us. Nor do I care if you guys think that it's where we're at when we have everything else. That's just somebody focused on the one thing. So
Right. Dr. Van says, now found you guys, so taking interest, happy to have found you. One of my best friends was from junior high a long time ago. Is a Filipino dude. Loved the
Aw.
culture for a long time.
sweet. Thank you, Dr. Van.
Now, I'm not going to put up your comment, Jim, right, but I'll mention it. So no offense, it seems like we're sending all of our edophiles to the Philippines to get married, to have babies, and vlog crazy. I thought Detroit was bad. Now, most of the time, they do get caught at the airport and they get banned. No.
Yeah, so if they've been, but we always said just because someone ain't been caught for an act doesn't mean they haven't done it, and whatever it's being referenced to. But they do have a system in place if you've been formally charged. So, yeah. Can't we all just get along?
Rodney
right?
King. There you go.
Right?
Sook says, I think people say that about you because you only cover people you dislike. Even if the ones you do like are the one in the wrong. You avoid them, like Tim attacking another YouTuber, him in court.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
No, not necessarily true.
When
no.
did okay? So yes, that's not necessarily true. Not at all. We don't dislike the Campbell channel, but we've actually, we've had them on.
We have a lot of contact with you know, with them, and he even says us messages and everything.
Actually, it's quite the opposite because there's several channels that I really don't like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, but we don't put their stuff up
Actually,
like they put
correct.
our
There's a
stuff
lot
up.
of
People
channels
that I
we
flat out
don't
just
like,
don't like for
but we
5,
don't
6 real
actually talk
reasons.
about them. So
Correct.
no.
So it's quite the opposite. Mark Thornton put his crap out there, and here it is.
And
That's
that's
on the
the
bottom
main
line.
thing. And
He's
see, that's the thing. If Mark did not make that video, this would not have been this way.
nope, and he's still got it up. So he's definitely got some issues. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's got some issues. And I will actually laugh and snicker all the way to the attorneys when he comes up and tries to say people like us did it when there's 1,000 other channels that are covering it too. And he's still got his video up. If he didn't think anybody wasn't going to talk about it, it's beyond, because I sit there and think about that. Okay, and so it just means that no, he's leaving his video out there for a reason.
Right.
So, and it's not to save his butt from court. It's still all public knowledge. This is just a conversation. And no, why? Because I didn't sit around and talk about Tim K. Do you realize how many vloggers like and that are actually here that are doing things wrong all the time?
Right.
I know where this is referencing back to. Andy Omar. I know where this is referencing back to. Okay, I have an idea even where the comments are coming from, but it doesn't mean that I sit around and watch him all the time. He's just come into our feed.
It's kind of like this.
The same with Tim K. He only comes in our feed. This comes in our feed because we like Every Man Has a Story. We still do. This is nothing against him. It's his actions. And I'm actually disgusted by his actions with a pregnant wife coming, being he's an ambassador. I'm embarrassed.
Misrepresentation.
For the U.S. Embassy, and he's been given all of this. How about him trying to take down World Zoom and all of that? How upset he was about World Zoom lying on Old Dog's channel and his channel, and how he was upset. No, we still continue to watch all of that after he, I'm not exactly saying we're all for World Zoom not telling the truth, but you're trying to convict a man for something that he did a long time ago. Come up with something new. All right. So he embellished some stories and all that. Maybe he had to try to one up somebody to get some views because of the crazy stuff that is being covered here. That does happen. Burnout happens for YouTubers. So as far as Mark Thornton, I'm still subscribed to his channel. He's still on my Facebook right now. Now he refused to come on here. I get why, but it's just I'm just totally embarrassed for the rest of the people that with a pregnant wife that he would go and have this actions. And I'm actually equally disgusted by the fact that they had to put in that ground zero letter that they're actually that sounds like he was actually verbally attacking the staff.
Correct.
And if they got to put that in there, I'm at a whole different level of disgustation. And if he wants, is that a word, disgustation?
I don't think so.
It is now. I'm at a total different level of gustation right now, of disgustation that he would even do that. Because if that was me, there'd be a million channels out there right now talking about me. I told George that. I said, there's no doubt in my mind. But here's the thing. I'm not going to go after him. Only wimps and butthurt people are going to file something against somebody. We could have filed something against somebody 100 times over, including George. And we know where these people are coming from. It's just part of the game, and we just get in it. When I say get in other words, we get along, get in it. I should have said that a little better. What I'm saying is that we're in the YouTube social media world. Too many snowflakes.
Well,
buck up.
Here's the thing also, we get a lot of hate too because of our guests. Now, in all fairness to all our guests and us and our viewers, okay, and the commenters, first off, we do not necessarily support nor reflect our beliefs and opinions with our guests and our commenters.
Right, because they put that on the front end of some of those talk shows. They put them on the back end of different things, front end of it. And they'll say this doesn't necessarily reflect what of our television studio just because we're putting on, all these different things.
And a lot of people forget too that it does not necessarily reflect on them. What I'm saying is, for example, we have several big guests, like we have Mike's Philippine journey, we have our Philippine journey, we have Campbell, we have Andy Omar. Our views does not necessarily reflect theirs. It doesn't mean that they became guests in our show that they believe in
what we're talking
everything
about.
we say.
And we don't believe in everything that they actually show either. I told you guys, I've already made it clear
Correct.
with Mike on air. There's a lot of crap I didn't like.
And we get a lot of flack, and they're like, oh,
there are things I don't like that old
Right.
dog puts out. And I'm sure he doesn't like some of the things we do, but there may be a time that he sit back and say, that does make sense.
Think about
That's the same thing as television. You guys watch different, there are different types of shows that
the
people
shows we watch are not the shows you
shows.
watch.
But we all may agree and disagree on something.
Correct.
And I think moving forward, I plan to pursue all of this in a legal manner. But at the end of the day, what's going on here is Mark is up against, like I said, when I said that he's only got one paddle on that cruise ship right now, literally he's been stripped of the paint and his little stack, whatever, he's gone, man. It's just like, and at the end of the day, if anything else, there's a good possibility he could lose viewership. There's a good chance, there's a good chance of a lot of things. What will happen? Only simps, wimps, and butthurt get mad over the words. Correct. And that's happening a lot with other channels. There's a few channels that the word's not banned. It's just we don't allow them to come on the channel anymore because they were doing a lot of other things. Okay. So here's the thing. That's exactly who gets hurt. Those are the same ones that do the thumbs down. Those are the same ones that report us. Those are the same ones that come through and do other things. Not one channel, not two, probably 5 or 6 that we're aware of right now. That's okay. That's okay. It really is. What does my heart joy is the time that the channels waste on it. It just feeds me. It's just like I told George, I was like, somebody loves me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a country song about that.
Focusing.
Thank you for the thumbs down. Thank you for reporting me. And thank you for putting up my stats. Thank you for putting us up in your community post. Don't be so butthurt. Don't be so butthurt. Don't be so butthurt, my friend. No?
We should put out an album for Heidi.
He's like, God dang that woman.
And we'll call it Here's Your Sign 2.
Here's your sign.
Here's your sign. Focus on Asia says, don't forget Luzon as well. Pagudpud is still my favorite beach so far, and we have been to Boracay. Again, Boracay is a good beach, and I've even told Heidi, you don't have to go to Boracay. There's a lot of good beaches here in Luzon. You don't have to fly over. Luzon is a big area. If you want to go to the mountains, the big area is a very good area. Go to Baguio. If you want to go hiking, go farther down the coast. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. Pagudpud, it's the beach we would recommend if you're in Angeles, of course, would be in Pangasinan. Pagudpud is further north. It's in Ilocos Norte. But according to Focus in Asia, JR, he would pick that over Boracay. Again. David Bryan says, wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
I'm smoking outside my son's apartment. It's pretty dark in his balcony. Oh, I see. He's saying he's not going to cam up because it's dark in his balcony.
I'm feeling a little prejudiced there. He just won't join a woman's show.
Big Dave says, I find Mark boring. Anyway, this might be the most
listen
exciting Mark has ever been.
Hey, babe, we can just put him on and listen to his voice, and I can imagine that hug and that smell, his perfume.
Yeah, Big Dave's like thinking like Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Collective Soul says, yes, Mark is boring. Otherwise, it's the most fun. Big Dave, it's the most fun Mark ever had.
Interesting. See this right there? 1 second.
Okay.
1 second, guys. I'll find it here in a minute. You'll come
Alright.
across it, and then I'll show you.
Sook says he even made videos bragging about it. You know, he admitted to attacking that Mogman dude.
Right here. It just keeps passing through. See that person right there?
Okay. That's him?
That's what I think he's saying.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not sure.
Niche says Mark is collecting donations and will buy Ground Zero and unban himself. That's funny. No, that's funny. But he doesn't need donations. He just needs to sell one of his cruise ships in his fleet. There you go.
Oh, snap! Focus
Right?
in Asia.
Right. JR says just Mark, just sell one of your cruise ships and buy Ground Zero. Makes sense.
I just had a thought. What was it we said? We said two things. I'm thinking about adding some other stations here to our what is it again? What's the Philippine Antics News, whatever, PN?
PANN.
PAN.
Yeah.
Philippine Antics News Network. I said we were going to do wife swap, so I thought what we would do.
Yeah, we're going to do wife swap.
You're going to swap.
Philippines.
You're going to swap me out to go live with Tim K. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, and I'll live with Chrissy. Chrissy K.
You know what that would be like? That'd be like sitting around drinking coffee with Michael Jackson. Excuse me. Oh, hand me that muffin. Oh, thank you. So
we're
nice.
gonna do a wife swap with.
Oh my God, I'm
Bruce
gonna come
Campbell.
back, and this house is just gonna be full of honey and sticky stuff, and it's gonna be like Candyland. They're gonna be playing Candyland.
Right. And wife swap with Bruce Campbell. Rose will live with me, and she'll live with Bruce Campbell.
No, not Bruce Campbell.
David Campbell.
David Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live with David Campbell. Imagine that. So we can switch out. Actually, we might actually get along pretty well. I'm actually honestly thinking that it would just be kind of awesome. I'm serious about that. Now that we have a car, we can go visit David, like for real.
Right.
I'm gonna go see David. So then on top of that, I'm actually thinking about bringing, not that he would actually cam up, but one of those 3 or 4 channels that actually don't like us within reason. Why don't you come on and say exactly why you did what you did and why I feel the way I feel? Faced out with Andy Omar, he had some issues. Everything's all smoothed out. I'm not okay at some point with some of the things they said. Maybe it's a way for that channel to say, you realize how many channels have beef with each other? How about we just let those 2 channels have their beef that we know are having beef? There are flat out people that don't. Example, not that they would, Andy Omar, and why doesn't Tim K actually really have a man to man? Why won't Mogman and the regular guy? We know there's beefs all over the Philippines. They actually sit back and forth, but will they face each other? There's that thing where they're like partial keyboard warriors, but they do it behind the scene because they flat out mention each other's name.
Right.
But now they're screaming defamation, or now they're screaming stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that way maybe it won't get to that point. But I can think of one that I don't mind, but will he admit to the things that he's been doing? And that's not exactly why we won't have that person on our channel no more. That's not most of the reason. There are 3 or 4 reasons. Is that why he acted out? Because he's no longer, coming in, or that this other female channel is no longer coming in? It's kind of hard to say, guys, but that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
No, it would be.
It would
and
be.
Like Bisayan Kano says, the behavior is outrageous from all sides. The only way to get a handle on this is to let them all feel the heat. No, I mean, yeah.
The heat is on. The heat is on.
Yes, and Dr. Van, yes, this letter at Ground Zero is basically a restraining order would be in the USA. Yes.
I mean, I don't know if it's how legal it is, but I hope he has his glasses on when he actually approaches the door. I'd say that's little writing.
It's
I'm
one
not
of
trying
those,
to.
we have the right to refuse service to anybody at any point in time.
Yeah, most of the laws that exist in the U.S. are here, but I would actually definitely find out the actual laws. And there's a lot of them that people don't know, and we're not legal counsel either.
Yeah, Niche says Mark Taran was a five-time Special Olympics boxing champion.
That's what it looks like. Like I said, I sometimes I actually think I get it if the Wild Wild West thing existed, like I said in the beginning. I'm not for violence unless it's needed to protect your family. But when you put into place you're 13,000 miles away from home and you got a baby coming and all of this is on the line, and now apparently it scared the staff enough that they had to mention staff, the staff,
Right.
scaff. I made
And
another word up. Then it's
Danilo, sorry, you have unrealistic expectations. I'm a very level-headed guy, and I'm very understanding. However, Danilo just saying, just
well, that's a made up account, of course.
well, just
Danilo
unsubscribe
Labrador.
because you skipped some of the comments. Now, and I say it's unrealistic because actually there's a lot of comments online.
Correct.
A lot of them were pro, and a lot of them are against, and some of them are members. No, we have to skip some of the comments because one, there's too many comments.
Or
two,
some don't even answer any of them.
They're not pertaining to anything.
And
you know
we
what I'm saying?
usually do them all.
Normally we do, however, at this level, you just can't. It's unrealistic.
And
man.
that's another thing. We keep hearing that people are actually unsubscribing and dropping out because of guests or what we're covering. Or here's the thing. There's only a percentage of people that watch on a regular basis. So we can't make everybody happy all the time. We're just covering what, that our channel feels that it's going to cover. And some of them are dropping out because of the guests we have on and all of that. I'm sorry, we're going to continue to do things similar to help grow our channel. It's just where it is. And is he talking about his own comments? Because his comments aren't even.
Like Manny C says, Danilo, do you need a hug? I mean, I'm laughing. Well,
no,
first
it's
off,
funny. It's funny
Manny
that
C is one of our members.
Evidently, they're hurt.
Now, for example, Manny C made a few comments. I even skipped some of them, and he's one of our members.
If they're that sensitive, I'm just going to put them in the snowflake category.
Right.
They don't call me Snow White Heidi for nothing. I mean, if you want to trail behind in a different, I'm sorry, I'm just going to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If you want to be one of those, just get in the back or something. Yeah. I'm just going to have to say that you evidently are that offended that we didn't answer which one of them would you have. You unsubscribing is not going to break our channel. People think because channels have 80,000 views that people stayed in there for their entire live stream, or they stayed in there for their entire, 12-minute video or 15-minute. No, a lot of those you're seeing are either bought or they're
called bot watchers.
There's bots in there and all these other things. It doesn't make their channel, and one person unsubscribing is not going to hurt our channel. Evidently, you're hurt over something. I don't even see where the person made another comment.
Well, that's the first time we've seen him too. I mean, like, for example, Bruce Davis is a regular. Bruce Davis says, wow, that's crazy, man. How dumb can you be to get kicked out of a coffee shop? What a shame, right? It's not even a bar. It's a coffee shop. That's like somebody banning you from Starbucks. You're like, what'd you do?
Look at Bella listening. Here's Bella. She likes to listen to stories.
She listens to stories.
Yeah, she loves stories.
Niche says, unfortunately, Mark donated all of his fleet to the Ukrainian Navy, and all of them were sunk on the way there. Funny.
We didn't skip that comment.
One star says, Mark T thought he was big it, right? Now he can't get a table.
Zero. Yeah. Now he can't get a table.
All right.
And like I said, I'm sure he's thinking in his head that, I'll just go somewhere else. Well, that's just the beginning. If that place had to do that, that's going to give more fuel and ideals for the next person, okay? To actually, there's been a call for the embassy to be contacted over his behavior. It's hard saying, guys, what could actually happen from here. I'm just thinking about that. That behavior is just bad.
Well, and Niche says, again, going after Mark, it's all in fun. In the end, us talking about it's not really going to hurt him. It really isn't.
Nope.
And honestly, he doesn't care. He honestly doesn't care. And then,
here's the thing. And I already told George that, and George said that. And George is super level-headed. Okay, I sometimes shoot off my hip. I'm going to tell you that right now, which is what makes this channel also. Is if Mark would have removed the video the next day, I wouldn't be sitting here talking now. I'm going to tell you that right now. We would not continue way after an apology or an acceptance of what he had done, isn't that what you said? Yeah. If he had done remove that even last night, that would have been the end of it. He still is collecting views and still showing way to go, Mark. It's not cool. What you got there, Bella? Look at her with her tail. Boom, 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 round. Hey guys, check it out. Walking Street.
Oh, she's playing with
Got
her
a Walking
tail.
Street cat.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Big
dun,
Dave says
dun,
Mark can't
dun.
afford furniture. Look at his apartment. They said he's clearly a minimalist. Look at his bank account.
Oh snap!
Right. Oh, just again to reiterate, the 35 APR is insane because the car doubles in price every.
If that's what it is, we have to say that we keep hearing.
Well, technically within 2 years,
Well,
his debt doubles.
when Jewel was at the Critter Hunter Republic dive shop, okay, in Darwin, he actually said that's where it was at. So I'm pretty sure he had mentioned the percentage or something.
Well, I don't doubt
I
it
thought, I could be wrong.
because honestly, the
Ooh.
APRs here are insane. Like the basic
And I'm glad that
average,
Jewel's feeling
yeah,
better.
the average APR here is 15%. So 35 isn't 35 or 39 or whatever isn't really that far a stretch. No.
Wait. What's that?
Yeah, see, for like right now, you guys are talking about Olivia Newton-John. Of course, I'm gonna skip that because it's somewhat.
What they say about Olivia
Yeah.
Newton-John,
Yeah.
physical. Let's get physical.
Yeah, no, they're talking about Xanadu. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Xanadu. Oh man.
Now, Walk This Way says Mark said he was instigated.
Wherever you go, you never far away from me. I want you to know you only have to close your eyes, dear. Oh, you didn't have to stop.
Right.
Suddenly I'm
Now, Big Dave says Mark never embellished anything like buying a cruise ship. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because Walk This Way said Mark said he was instigated.
Yeah, but does that, I mean,
It still does not, again, justify you hurting somebody. If somebody talks crap at you, that does not give you the right to hit them.
and I say hit them. That's what I said. I said punch them in their eyes, knock them out, drag out, but do it in your country, not where you're 13,000 miles from home and you're about ready to lose everything, including the car you just financed.
Well, if you want to fight, there's ways to do it.
Right. And there's different opinions. I get it. Like George, violence just isn't an option unless he's defending his family. For me, that's about 95% true. If I'm just being picked on left and right, left and right, and left and right, you've seen celebrities pop off and hit people, the paparazzi, people talking about them, won't leave them alone, all that. It happens eventually. I get that and I get it. But this, like I said, is not the wild, wild west where you can actually do it. And you're 13,000 miles from home. It doesn't matter how much he tried to justify by putting his future brother-in-law on, talking about the backside. We hear a backside about Dexter. I don't care if Dexter's a good guy, bad guy, if everything they said about Critter Hunter is right. You know, Justin, I don't care. I really don't. Where he's at is evidently now he's really upset ground zero. It's going to affect the vloggers. He actually stands next to the U.S. Embassy and says he's an ambassador. He's up there. Okay, he's 70,000 something views. It still doesn't put him in a micro level vlogger. People look up to him. Okay, as a vlogger, he's a representative of YouTube. Hence, our manager said he can, for actually saying he beat somebody up, can lose his YouTube channel. I don't give a crap what anybody says. But I don't care if they were like henpecking him and saying things about his wife on the way out the door and his wife wasn't there. They weren't saying him directly. But what I'm saying is it doesn't matter. He actually hit the guy, said, let's step outside. He said that that's what he meant. And then as weird to see in a photo and a video that watched, he called him outside. He actually was drawing the guy outside. And when he did, he said that he put his hands up. That's what he said. And then he punched the guy and just, he evidently by photo actually really hurt him. Okay. Like I said, I'm for it to some extent. I get it. I've been frustrated too. I get it. But I'm telling you right now, there are just two different type of people on Earth.
In the end, ground zero, the law and immigration don't care about the backstory.
And usually they don't care about expat on expat. There has been violence before on different ones. We didn't cover the Barry Jordan thing or when sick grandpa punched, what's his name, sucker punched him, because
we didn't put
this
that up, yeah.
happens so much. Just like there's so many things going on where Filipinas rip off expats and expats rip off Filipinas or treat them bad or abuse them. There's a lot of it. We can't cover every single thing, okay? But it's just bad. He's got a lot on the line. That's what matters, and an admittance of guilt. And this wouldn't be covered today if he'd taken down the video. And he evidently, I'm going to quote somebody that made a comment. It said that Mark should have took some time and spent $100 to invest in an attorney because he'd have told you get that video down. But instead, he didn't. Where is he investing that money? That I'd like to know. He just did a video within a month that got him thousands of views where he was sitting around talking about investment. He should have invested himself and got himself some money to get a good attorney. Because now he's either going to, either all the things that we've talked about the last few days will happen, or he's going to end up spending all of his baby formula money to actually get him out of trouble, or it'll just tie up his money. Why do you think I settled? There are two reasons I settled with the previous vlogger. One, I'm extremely apologetic and sorry that I had even hurt that Filipina. Okay, not physically, guys. I emotionally, I guess, upset her. She thought there was something was going to happen. I'm apologetic and very, very upset that it even got that far.
It wasn't meant to be.
Correct. And number two, there's no way in hell that I was going to tie up the rest of our funds, okay, to sit for 2 or 3 years on this of a case they would have lost. Okay, they rarely prosecute on all this defamation stuff and all that. I didn't physically punch the Filipina. Let's say I lost my mind because of everything that happened and I would have punched that Filipina. It'd have been game over for me.
Now, to clarify, yes, that if you again assault a national,
physically,
that could be serious grounds for you being deported. Yes,
there'd have been a 99% chance on that.
Yeah.
The chances of them not prosecuting me over the word that was said and years of court would have been 99% chance of a no. I told George that I apologize first and I'm sorry. I don't care if we sat years and paid the money. First comes first. I didn't want to hurt that person. Secondly, I ain't tying up even another $100 in dealing with that.
Right.
And time. You know, I have my own issues medically that I'm going to sit in a courtroom that just doesn't make any sense.
It's like this. And
so he didn't think about nothing when he actually did that.
Now be aware it's a different level. And what I'm saying is it's different when you, okay, for example, I was an immigrant in the US for over 27 years. And a lot of people don't realize. First off, if you commit a felony, that's automatic deportation. Okay, even a misdemeanor can get you deported. If I committed, misdemeanor, depending on the misdemeanor, yes, I can get deported. Get it? Fact. I mean, yeah, you can dox me all you want. All you see is traffic tickets. But what I'm saying is,
that's what you're gonna find.
If I committed misdemeanors, will I get deported? Probably not. But if I assaulted an American citizen, there's a very good chance that I could get deported, even if the misdemeanor wasn't, if the assault was a misdemeanor. Now, in the Philippines, it's a different level completely. If you're a foreigner, you assaulted a Filipino, yeah, that's pretty much almost automatic. However, if you're an expat attacking an expat, it's not as severe as assaulting a national. However, it could still get you deported, correct? Because you're going to have an NBI check eventually. And if they see that, the immigration officer could say no. Bisayan Cano says, a different level of disgust. I like disgustation. Disgustation. I actually like that too.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the next live stream.
I admit, I like disgustation too.
In the Philippines.
Yeah, yes, he was deported in from ground zero. Yeah, see, everybody loves it. Disgustation. It's now. Right.
I make up words all the time.
That's hilarious.
I have dyslexia, and some words do get mixed up. So I've been told that I sound like I'm uneducated, and there's no way of this and that. Between my lupus and other issues that I have, Believe me, my brain is one of those to go, but also I do
Well,
have
not
some
to mention
dyslexia.
we played that game. Me and Heidi played that game. It's in was it in different in living color?
Yeah.
Remember that bum where he makes up words?
No, well, he
Yeah.
does. He's talking about the guy that's in the jail cell that he's like, for the portation of the salutation of the curtation
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
participation
we
of the
do we play that game a
motivation
lot.
of the
So
kindation of the oration.
yeah, that's
I
where
think he's going to jail.
that's where discussation came from. Yeah, we play that
In
game a lot. Yeah.
living color,
Yeah.
you can do what you want to do,
Oh,
except
that's
for
right.
in the
There
Philippines.
you go.
Da, 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 da.
Pan says it seems foolish to self snitch. Correct, I agree. With a video that slanders the guy and you admit striking first. Very odd. Yes, it's very odd. Too much
I have my
self-made
limits.
stress. Yeah, in Mark's life. Yes, it doesn't
We
make
were
sense.
we were discussing that there are certain type of people on this earth, and somebody said that he has that. What is that? Where we talk about people just have no feelings? You called them something. The guy has no. Evidently, he doesn't have.
Apathy.
Yeah. Does he sleep at
He's
night, or
apathetic,
does he?
which
Because
means he doesn't care.
he would have removed that video by now. He knows all these videos are out about him. And this is not exactly good publicity. I always say bad publicity is better than no publicity, good or bad or whatever. But there is a limit, like the one that happened to me last year. That just wasn't because it, if it wasn't for that, it was just me and some other vlogger and another vlogger that was just an expat, I probably would have continued on. But I didn't want to hurt this girl. I didn't mean to even, bother the vlogger. Although he did go on forever, that was still just something between me and him there for a while. And we like the channels. It's just where it actually is. But Mark is not taking this down. Like literally, it's just staying up, and he knows what people are saying. So back to that, he knows that people are doing all this, and he knows that he has to know by now that the guy, by rumors of other channels and other people sending us messages, if any of this is true, this is just not going to be good. And like I said, even Jewel was sitting in Critter Hunter Republic with him sitting there at the desk, and they slipped something out knowing they were letting people hear something. Just gonna have to see situation. And I'm like, yeah, they're gonna do something. So I'll be taking that down.
Just Fact says his issues is arrogance, ego is an issue. Once our flags. Now here's the thing: the real issue is at this point it's too late. And what I mean by that is there's several channels that already covered this, and we did not show his video. Just to let you guys know, we did not show Mark incriminating
There's even
himself.
one that tried to take
However,
there was even one that came forward yesterday or the day before, and they're like, it's like, I put it out first. I'm like, okay, yeah, you didn't see the 500,000 others that covered it right away. It was like, no, not really. Nobody takes one credit for anything that's actually happened.
Well, and like I said, unfortunately, it's too late now for him to take it down because the video's out there already and it's spreading.
Been copied.
It's been
recopied, sent to the embassy.
Yeah, it's
immigration. I'm sure it's been everywhere.
And
now.
we did not actually. Do we have a copy of the video? Yes. Did we release our copy of the video? No. Point being is it's either way. It's too late now. It's too late now. He can take it down only once. It's out there now.
I only want one of the cruise ships.
Oh, you only want one of the cruise ships?
Oh, baby, why
for our silence, that's what we want. We want a cruise ship. All right.
Jokies.
Solo Journey says, do you guys do channel consultations for newcomers?
We have,
Yes.
and we do, but we speak to anybody for free. So yeah, just through Facebook Messenger. If you would like to talk, we do. We schedule people in.
Yeah. Do you know that song?
Baby. So now you can convict me. I'm a loser, baby. I would need more reference.
Yeah, I don't get that song.
Because I know music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but it's 90s and current. Yeah.
One Star Flag says he needs to eat about 7 grams of mushrooms. That ego would die in one session.
You know what? I just heard that there was a guy that has a shop in Canada that does an illegal shrooms, mushrooms, and cocoa leaves. And he just sent them all to the senators, and a bunch of them called on him or something.
Oh,
He's
yes,
some
yes.
pusher of, but it was
Yeah.
just in the news that he sent gifts to a bunch of the senators. And some, they don't know if they took them, but only like 6 or 7 actually reported it. It was hilarious. And I'm like, so that just reminded me of what I had read in the news. So it was like, but I'm pretty sure that was recent.
Yeah. Soldier says, yes, that was good, Heidi. When you sang In Living Color. Very good song.
Yeah,
Heidi.
we actually own the entire collection. We actually mailed it.
In DVD.
Yes, we have it in DVD.
In DVD.
Right. Hey, but that's my favorite. I
It's
love.
upstairs.
Yeah, that's when Jennifer Lopez used to be a real fly girl.
Yeah. Robert says, I'm the sign guy. There you go. Yes, Camigan Island. Yes, also another one of those great places to visit. Again,
Off the beaten
you don't have
path
to
and
go to
amazing.
live in Dumaguete. Camigan Island is off the beaten path. Amazing. It's an hour from me. Correct.
Big Dave, is that sarcasm? He said Mark never embellished anything like buying a cruise ship. Is that sarcasm?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Okay. I mean, even George has seen the videos. He's even apologized or something and said something about he gave the money back. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, Crazy Corman says Patipot is in Zambales. We go to a resort there once. Yes, also yes.
I know he said he was a manager on the cruise ships for a long time and was on them. So
yeah, for reference, for those of you who don't know, again, if you're in Angels, you drive to Zambales, and then once you're in Zambales, you drive north, and then keep driving. You'll hit Ilocos Norte. Oh, well, Ilocos Sur first. Norte, of course, is north, and Sur is south. Ilocos Sur is where Armstrong is, and then keep driving. You'll hit Ilocos Norte, and that's where, when you hit the ocean, that's where Agudpud is. So just give you guys reference on where these areas are. Miyagi says, Crazy Corman Semper Fi, Doc.
Dominic, it says Dimac fan said, did Mark, I think they said lose and said lost his channel. If true, that was just wrong. Someone must be connected to YouTube to get it down. Nothing on his video was against YouTube rules. Are you a YouTube manager? Have you read through Google and YouTube's rules and why people lose channels?
According to YouTube, you cannot promote violence. That is technically falls into the
him admitting to a
promoting
crime.
Violence.
Yeah,
Correct.
and admitting to a crime of any sort. And yes, it's a crime here
Now, will
to
YouTube
hit somebody.
take it down? That depends.
Yeah, we're not saying that
we're not
he's
saying-
going to. We're just saying
And we're also not saying that he will lose his channel, but
it's a possibility. And our YouTube manager, which we have, actually has advised that when somebody's admitting to a crime, it's enough to have their channel removed by manual review.
Right.
And I promise you, there's a lot of people that don't like Mark. And with this incident going on, they probably already sent stuff to him.
Right.
So,
and for those of you who are, again, YouTube
Hey, Barry.
channel, it's actually a rarity that YouTube issues you a manager, and we've had a manager since we've been monetized, and that's been a few years now. So yes. Robert says, how many people have seen it? Very limited few. It's only the ones on Dexter's side of the family have seen the video and
the
his
CCTV.
Yeah, correct. No, again, the fact that that video is not out tells you again.
Well, a lot of people were in
gonna do
doubt that,
something, yes.
you know, here's the thing is that clips have been released to people. We've been in touch with people that have seen the clips. Okay. That's all we can say. And people, as of Mark Thornton's release, didn't even think it was real. I mean, so they're like, where's the proof that he did that? It's like, dude, he said that he punched him. Okay. What more proof does anybody need? I don't give a crap if somebody, it kind of like a Gus Station frustration situation wrapped in one. What else do you guys want? Because somebody heckled him, because you guys don't like Critter Hunter Republic and Justin, because you guys don't like Dexter. And I don't give a crap if Dexter called him every which way but loose and touched his glasses on his face. You don't punch somebody I mean, I don't care if he just walked up and touched his glasses, which I guess that would kind of be a little too far. So I take that back. But still, you still don't hit somebody.
Well, the act,
Like if he walked up and did this to his shirt or something.
the act
it's-
of touching is classified as battery. Unwanted touching is classified as
okay,
battery.
so all right.
However, the fact that again that Dexter was not even in fighting mode, nor did he actually fight back, tells you he's not actually there to fight.
Jay Tyson said Mark said it's in self-defense because the guy made an aggressive move. The video allegedly does not show that. We
And
have a
that's-
photo showing where he's leaning in,
Right.
trying to get him to come out.
And that's the thing. There's video, and I think when Mark said that, he wasn't aware there's CCTV footage. And
He actually mentioned that twice. I'm not even sure if there is, but there is, and there's
Yeah.
photos and footage that shows the outside, and he's leaning in. That's not him just, no. There's
yeah, and like I said, in the Philippines, look
no,
up.
he
there's
said it's self-defense.
CCTVs
That's not
everywhere.
self-defense. Not when
Yeah.
you throw 2 punches in a row and leave damage like that, and there's not a scratch on you. That's not.
Yeah.
And they're not going to see it that way. And then how come Mark's banned? How come it's Mark only that's got his name on that door?
Right.
Why was he aggressive with the staff? According to that, that's what he was. Aggressive. So
Yeah, and for example, the laundromat. I visit it a lot because there's that's where I pay the bills. No, really, I go over there to pay bills. I go over there to load Gcash. That alone, the laundromat has 2 CCTVs in their property, and there's a public CCTV that works
does it
right
matter?
outside.
1 second. Are you sure? An account come up says need the actual video for the truth. Okay. Does that matter though? I mean, at this point, does it actually really matter? Unless the guy punched him back or punched him, then it doesn't matter what the video shows.
Well,
I mean, everybody's getting down to this nitty gritty that we're making things up and that we're
fact that-
spreading this and that.
the Ground Zero even
That's
states,
super petty, in my opinion.
Well, like I said, the fact that Ground Zero released a letter for him to stop, showing up there for even, attacking the staff.
Yeah, how come the letter says that?
So something happened in Ground Zero too that nobody's talking about, obviously.
Barry said I had several women that emmed me. I can't say the word. He said several women tried to RPE'd him.
Is it Barry in the PI?
Yeah, he said,
Okay,
but
yeah,
he didn't file no report. I tried to at Candy Palace, man.
The thing is, when
They tried to love on him and he didn't report that.
When Heidi said Barry and she said what he
This
said,
is
you can always tell it's Barry in the PI. Hey, Barry in the PI, how you doing, man?
And I get that because a lot of guys are like, they want to see what happened on the other side. I would almost place money 100% on this right now. Okay, 100% now. That with Mark already admitting that he told him to step outside because he knows what that's going to mean, there's going to be a fight, then what other proof do you guys need? He said that, and then he's leaning in to actually get the guy, yelling for him to come out. According to sources, okay, the guy didn't even know what he was stepping into. Mark said that he put his hands up like he was going to throw a punch, and then he punched him several times. I don't know. Not when Ground Zero is saying he was being aggressive. Not that he was banned from Ground Zero. There's no other proof that would actually need to be at all. It doesn't matter. I don't care if the guy called him every name in the world and been sending nasty emails and he's been taunted for years. No, it's not going to save him with everything he's done. The guy's filed a police report. He's been to the medical, he's been to the hospital, got all those reports, and he's got the money to fight him. Whether it's just a court hearing, the least Mark is looking at is being drained in court. Okay. And Mark put a video out, and actually, in my opinion, he's the starter of the fire.
Correct.
He started all this. Now everybody's put footage. Now we have photos and we have all of that, and it's all going to come back to him, not me. I disagree with our first guest that was on here that he's shut down the fire now. You know, you guys don't want to be involved. Yeah, bring me in on it. I wish you would. Okay, we're not the starter of this fire. I believe somebody said, we didn't start the fire.
Right.
And the world was turning since Mark Thornton started his own crap. I mean, come on.
No, he did.
He
and
started
he's
his own
unapologetic,
fire.
and that's the reason for all this big giant blow up. It would have been different if he was apologetic.
I get the thing of standing up, and I keep going back through that because it just goes through my head. There's a bunch of y'all that just keep saying that, you know, I'll wait for the CCTV and I'll wait to see what happens. Evidently, per Mark's words, that he was the one that beat the crap out of him. What difference does it make if he did, if he held the door open, if he, you know, it doesn't matter. That's why I mentioned the shirt thing, because even I don't feel that would have been enough if he would have just said, let's step outside, and literally went like that off of his shoulder. You still don't go out and beat the crap out of the guy. You're still in a third world country, and you're still in another country far from home where the police may not give a crap when they throw you into that jail cell. Expat on expat or not. You're in a different country with a different mentality and a different way of life and thinking and all that. People can be paid off. Some people can't. And you never know where that paying off situation might pay off. Okay. But I know that you have to watch your steps. And a lot of Western expats feel they're above the law because they do or don't have money. Most of them, the ones that have money, think they're above the law. But that didn't make it right for anything. In other words, a lot could happen. If that guy's the one with all the money, I'm gonna put a little scenario and birdie in your ears. Let's just say that there was this guy, okay, and he didn't like the guy that lived over in Cebu. And then there was this little fight, but this guy's got a crap load of money. For 5,000 pesos in Cebu, somebody could just disappear. I mean, there's like all kinds of scenarios around what might or might not happen in a case like this. The reason I mentioned third world country is a lot can happen. Same with Mexico.
No,
People
the
disappear.
lowest price we've seen on the news was 500 pesos.
Yeah, for 500 pesos. Yeah, it's probably a true story.
Yeah,
that's why you should keep your backyard about as clean as possible. That is for sure.
And that was recent. That was last year.
And here's another thing. I know that people have an idea where we live, and we don't announce in advance that we're sitting at a hotel. We've done live streams, and we kind of cut that stuff off too, so we're not like known where we are. But think about him. He's been bringing people over and doing interviews in his personal house. He's been doing that for quite some time now. Would you do that?
Well,
all these new incoming expats, he knows all these people? Not really.
Yeah, it's not safe.
Not safe.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on, man.
One Star Flag says, it sounds like usury is not illegal in the Philippines. Those interest rates preying on the poor. Yes.
Wow, they upped that game there.
Yeah, the interest rates here are criminal, pretty much, yes.
Cano further down says the going rate to make someone disappear in Mindanao is 20,000. Snap.
That's pretty high. But like I said, the lowest we've heard from the news from the police is 500 pesos. That was last year.
Yeah, because that's 400 US, and yeah,
it
could be interest. Yeah, it's still cheap, but
technically that's cheap. And again, we don't condone. We're just telling you what's going on. Yeah. Miyagi says so. They're not banned from Ground Zero. They just can't fall. No, they are. Well, as of right now, there's confirmation that Mark is banned, not the other guy, and this is posted on the door. Right?
And that the vloggers cannot vlog there.
Without
now, are we
permission?
Did they say with permission? I don't know about that. We're just saying it's possible they may get permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guarantee it's going to slow down for a while. So when you see a bunch of footage come up there, then it's just going to be unusual. So, but I bet they slow down for a little bit. It'll probably pick back up, but it just made it bad for everybody else. What Tim Husk? I was going to put Tim.
Oh,
yeah,
Tim
he's
Huss says in September 22, when I landed in Cebu and my Pinay picked me up, I said I wasn't to get some.
I wasn't to get some
I
sleep
think
after
I think
traveling for 30
I think
hours.
it meant I wanted to. It autocorrected. Yeah.
He probably wasn't going to get no sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Traveling
Tim
for 30
got
hours.
got
Yeah.
his world rocked.
Yeah. Manny C says it's arrogance. He thinks he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'd put the members in. I'm not trying to be funny. If they make a statement, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah, but I would still see you just pass them again.
Well, that's.
He is a member.
I know that, but. No, he's leaving. Tim Huss is leaving. It's really late. Oh, yeah. 1:20 a.m. here. Time to crash. Stay safe, y'all.
120. So I guess
Yeah.
it is on the one
On
coast.
some, yeah, on the Pacific side, I guess, right? Yeah, see, that's what I mean. And a lot of them are just.
Yeah, if they're talking
Yeah,
to
see,
each
like
other.
that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's.
Oh, Barry in the PI says, I'm doing great. I had a great road trip. Videos coming soon. There you
Sweet.
go.
Check out Barry and
Yeah.
the PI, our friend.
Big Dave says, I want a
We
rematch.
still now. Can we drive to Barry's now that we have a
Yes.
place
Yes, we
or have a
can.
car? We'll come up and crash in your pad. Hey, we can do wife swap.
Right?
I'm gonna come live there with you, Barry.
Jay Tyson says, how about Heidi versus George? I got my money on Heidi. There you go.
Nah, because too much loving going on here. There's a real vision for you guys. George, do you?
Doc M says Derek knew what he was getting into.
Okay.
Dickie Spat. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while, Dickie Spats.
What's up?
Maybe Marky can broadcast from upstairs of that mansion he's squatting in. Oh, Barry in the PI says you're welcome anytime. Thank you so much, Barry. Love you, man.
Barry.
Great guy, Barry. Very nice. We've met
Last
in
call for
person.
alcohol. Anybody joining up before we wrap this live stream?
Yeah,
up?
Barry actually drove all the way over here and visited us here in Angel City. Yes.
During
yes.
our meet and
Yeah.
greet.
Nice guy. Great guy.
Oh, hi, Cookie Face. Hi, Sweetie Bear.
Oh, can you shed light on? Okay, now there's a lot of stories that,
Yeah, which
according to them, that the owner of the place he's living in, he's selling it, and therefore is not collecting rent from.
we're
Mark.
not sure if he's made that statement himself. Can't confirm that. Others have said that. So 3 or 4 sources are saying that. I don't think it really pertains to the story. People are just adding that he just that much money he doesn't have. If anything, I think it saves him a little bit of money, but
A lot, actually. I mean, think about it.
well, places there, some of the places can be 2-3 times the rent that it is even here. Rents are going up over here. Not as bad as the US. So.
Right. Like, for instance, in our area, 10,000 pesos is the
night,
average
Jim.
rent. Yeah. Night Jim from Michigan, 1:30 a.m. Yep.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. We will say our quick goodbyes later, Manny. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. We love you all. Thank you for the comments and thank you for the participation. And again, sorry we can't put up all the comments, and that's why membership is important, because
Yeah, I'm gonna go through and
highlighted.
say, hey, Manny, see to our members
the
and our
stream.
members,
See you all
Manny,
later.
Tim
Thank you so much.
Huss. See if I can
so
go
much.
Bruce Davis.
Thank you so much, Blue Pony. Appreciate
Blue
your support.
Pony, thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much, Kenny and Subic, for giving us a cat food money that we will eat later. I'm
Right,
joking.
that's what George's
I'm
gonna
joking.
get for lunch.
Peace and love, Jay Tyson says. Bisankana says toodles.
Victoria was in the house. Will Smith. Thank you to our members. Guys, do a thumbs up.
Oh,
Look
Sarah
for our live
Sarah
stream.
Tyson is here.
Sarah,
Night.
thank you. Hi, Sarah.
Nietzsche says, see
Thank
you all
you,
on the dark
Nietzsche.
side of the moon. Pink Floyd.
There it is.
Pink
Dark
Floyd is the greatest of
Side.
all time.
Guys,
Yes.
I guess if something else comes up, then we may be live tomorrow. If not, we will be back on Tuesday. Okay, got some videos to edit.
In one fell swoop, Mark has run his life. There you go.
Yes, kind of crazy.
Doctor says, save the drama for your mama to all the expats.
There
Bye,
it
y'all.
is.
Oh,
K
K-Dallas. Hey,
Dallas.
K-Dallas.
Guys,
Bye,
be
guys.
sure
Love
to
you.
subscribe.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Be sure to
Become a member.
subscribe.
Support the channel. Love you guys.
support George because I'm going to have to kick his butt out. Just
There you
kidding.
go.
Thank you guys.
Oh, good
God
night,
bless.
Strip Lollipop. Good night, Niche. Nice seeing you.